love Mike Hanson Archives.
Are you ready to run?
We'll have to do this one. That'd be good. Hello, my name is Archie Lowe, President, Republic of Texas. And I'll tell you what, if you really want to know what's happening, watch the Jeff Davis Show. I do.
I can't put a microchip in you.
Okay, sit down. Turn around. I'll turn over to you and you do it.
Hi, this is Blue.
And this is Casey.
And you're watching the Jeff Davis Show.
And I watch it every week, Monday night, from 7:30 on Channel 10.
That's it.
Gotta get a little edit time, you know.
Another one? Are you gonna go around again, or? Or do you want to do it again? Say.
And speak up too, real loud.
At 7:30 sharp. Hi, I'm Blue.
And I'm Casey.
And you're watching the Jeff Davis Show.
Watch it every Monday night at 7:30 sharp on Channel 10. Don't miss it.
One more time.
Wait.
Speak up louder too.
Louder?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna be like,
Hi, this is Blue.
and this is Casey.
And you're watching the Jeff Davis Show.
Every Monday night.
Whoops. Cut.
Casey.
Now y'all are getting in the mood now for a good plug.
Okay.
You do the other.
Here we
You do
go.
the part I'm supposed to do.
You start it, and then you start it, and then I'll.
Hi, this is Casey.
And this is Blue.
You're watching the Jeff Davis Show.
Every Monday night, 7:30 sharp. Don't miss it.
Channel 10.
Channel 10.
This is the ones we like to play.
The bloopers.
Okay, here we go again. One more. Oh well. When they know what to say. They know what to say.
Do that mic thing again.
Okay, and I'll
Me
do it.
first. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Blue.
And I'm Casey.
And you're watching the Jeff Davis Show.
It comes on every Monday night at 7:30 sharp on Channel 10.
And he knows what's up, so don't miss it.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. We'll play that next week.
Well, he's got
Well,
several
hello,
bloopers.
folks. It's Mike Hanson, and I wanted to come on here first and explain what this little clip is. I don't want it to get lost in the grapevine of life. I want to put it out there on the internet because it's pretty historical footage, even though it's not that much of it. This is, I think it was 1996 when Waco Rules of Engagement first came out. And see right here, it says Waco. That's that Waco Rules of Engagement. They didn't put that all the way up on the marquee. And I wanted to tell you exactly what happened. Catherine Madison, the Branch Davidian survivor, was invited to speak at this movie premiere. Of course, they left her high and dry, and I had to take her home that night. But here's the Waco Rules of Engagement. The marquee. So it's pretty historical. This is when it was first out in the movies. Okay, here's Catherine, and the guy that made the movie. Did we ever find out who the first one that made the Waco Rules of Engagement? I'll give you my opinion of him. That guy's famous too. Y'all recognize him. I'm going to play this after this. But there's Catherine. There's not much of it. There's only like a minute of it, but I still wanted to put it out there to have it in a historical. This guy right here is somebody from the audience asking whether he could, and you'll see this in the full. This guy is asking, can he show the film to a group of people? And the guy that made the film, him and his wife, are real Hollywood queers. And I don't mean queers as in gay, just really not nice people. He actually tells them no, and he don't want his film getting out to certain groups of people because it's such a liberal film, as he calls it. So I don't know exactly what went on with these. Did you ever find out who this was? Well, this guy here and his wife were the first ones that made that before Michael Minotti. I think they were the directors or something. Y'all can look it up out there on there, but you'll see on the clip. Pay attention to what he says. He really didn't want to get the information out like the rest of us at the time. It's Waco Rules of Engagement. The first one, I think it was 1996. Does it say who it was? Waco Rules of Engagement. That's probably him right there. But anyway, y'all can look him up, folks out there. He's really not a nice person. And he also left Catherine Madison that night fending for herself because he didn't agree with her. So I'm real disappointed in that movie premiere. Okay, now here it is, folks. The unedited footage that I got that night, even though I don't know why I didn't get that much footage that night. You know, just a little bit of it. I guess we were just showing that it was going to be shown there. But it's a shame that we didn't get more footage that night. All righty, thanks a lot, and God bless. Now watch this small clip. Put it into your archive files, people out there.
It's terrible. The way they make rice, a couple bags of rice in a big jar. That's what we did. And then they said,
You know what they're saying? Federal Emergency Management Administration. Check it out. It's a course on it. What? Well, Reagan strangled it a whole bunch, but actually Jimmy Carter put the teeth in, and then Reagan made it the Fire Breathing Dragon. But it goes back to the Warren Murray chapter.
so we do, all we gotta do is give our cards and...
Oh, we gotta go around the other way. The entrance is over here. Terry Kirk, who is a co-counsel for Waco, Simon Schulster book, which immediately following this, Dick will be out in the food court out here, I believe, signing books. And then at the end we have Catherine Batson, who lived up in with the Branch Davidians for 30 years and is a Waco survivor. And so I'm just going to have pass this mic around here, and if you have some questions, raise your hand and we'll...
Bring this film in San Antonio, or if we had a group, we possibly rent your film and show it to a group in San Antonio.
We do plan on showing it in San Antonio. The answer to the second part of your question, no, the film is not for rent by groups. The reason being, I think very obvious, of the extreme political nature of this. One of the things we absolutely cannot allow to happen is to have this film become associated with a group that could then be taken and joined.
I can't wait, Alex, until your great-great-grandchildren see how good you were back in the day, in the 1990s. And we also have a, if you look below here, we have a nonprofit organization called Gonzales Association of Patriots. And of course, 100% of that goes to helping elderly people here. We put up 112 people during the freeze, February of 2021. Those people would have froze to death if we would not have put them up in our hotel here in Gonzales, Texas. People were having accidents on the highways. They had nowhere to go. People's water and electricity was cut off. They had nothing. Thank God that, we made it through that. That was just something else for Texas to have that freeze. And it lasted for a whole week. And we put them up. It just about exhausted our, it did exhaust our donations for our nonprofit. So if you look below, and I want to thank the mayor of Gonzales, Texas. If you ever get a chance to check, she bought all that food that back in February for all those people out of her own pocket, and then the news had tried to criticize it for. If she wouldn't have opened up these shelters, people would have froze to death. Their fingers would have been frostbitten on their toes, just like what happened in Austin and Houston. So I want to commend our mayor here in Gonzales, Texas, Miss Connie. There you go.
Everybody.
Buy what you want with it. Buy you something nice once in a while.
I love you, Mike.
Yeah.
God bless you.
People donate money to us, and that's how we get this money.
Thank you.
So if anybody, wants to know more about our organization, we're here in Gonzales, Texas at P.O. Box 481.
Thank y'all very much, and God bless everybody that helps people around that are in need. God bless y'all.
Okay, we'll see you next time,
Que
Peggy.
pase buen día, señora.
Gracias.
This is Gloria Clark from Burleson. I am here to have a few things to say about our state. We have not got no Constitution rights. When they can come into your home and invade your home without a search warrant and take your kids and take them and put them into a home, children that was going to church, had a wonderful life, and the state come in and taken the children and threatened us if we didn't hand them over, they would give us 5 years in the pen. They threatened us upon the courts, upon the stage. They did not believe in religion, that they wanted to take the children. They took the children from us and they put them into a home. They was virgins when they took them. But after they taken them, they come out not a virgin. Even the state, home, raped the children, tempted them, wanted to rape them. One runned off to get away from them. We didn't know this till after we found it out. They took the other one and they put her highly on dope. She climbed the wall. She could see 2 or 3 people. We went in up there at Waco. We caught her, put her in the car, and we left there with her. We taken her with us, and we taken her to the hospital. After we got her there, the doctor said, "What is she doing on this medicine? She does not supposed to be on this medicine. We are going to send her to a hospital." They sent her to the hospital and kept her there. When we got back, there was the law sitting at our door, threatening us, asking us where did we take her. We told them that we'd taken her to a doctor and they've got her in Wichita Falls. How could you have any rights to put her in Wichita Falls? We have got all the rights. So I asked them, Where do you get that at? Don't we have our Constitution rights? They stated, no, we do not have no Constitution rights. You'll do as we say, or you'll go to jail for 5 years. We had to give our kids up. And they come in and invaded my home and took 5 kids, 6 kids out of my home and took them and started our life. Would not let us see them, even threatened. They came into our home and they threatened us. They told us we didn't hand the kids over. They was going to put us in the jail for 5 years in the pen. I asked them, do they have a search warrant? They come into my home, invaded my home without a search warrant, without asking any questions, taking the kids, without even checking our character. We had gardens, we had food, we had a lot of food for the kids. They took one kid, they put it under a, this happened in 78. They came in and they took the other boy, baby boy. They give him shock treatments to erase his memory from his family, everybody. He didn't even know us. They even took the other oldest girl, they raped her. They take the other one and threatened her, and she got broke and got away. We taken her and let somebody else keep her. They threatened us and told us that we could not have them. We stayed on our knees and prayed. And we kept praying for God to bring them back. After they took the baby girl, they taken her, they put her under tranquilizers. She didn't know nobody. They taken her and we put her in the hospital. They said she did not need to be on this stuff, on stelazine. Then after that, later they came back to our home. They said, we are to investigate y'all. We did not investigate y'all. The kids would be better off at home. And we want to apologize for what we have done to y'all. It was too late then, after they started our kids. And just like they're going to destroy everybody else's kids, they're going to destroy us because they've got the 40. They got the 40 over us. This is communist. This ain't a free country. It's time, people, to wake up. It's time to wake up because they're going to come in and they're going to invade our homes just like they invaded them up there. They went in on their properties and they shot at them. And they killed them and shot them and took their land and their property over. We have got to have our rights back. They're saying we have no Constitution rights. They're taking the preaching away from us. They're taking the ministers away from us. They're taking them and putting them in jail and taking the kids out of the homes. We need to get our Constitution rights back. We're sitting back, fighting for our rights, but we are not getting them. Just like they burnt the children up there in them homes. A church in Waco. That was wrong. That was a state. The state come in and invaded their church, invaded their rights. We need to have our rights back and let the state, to overcome the state, what we need to do. We need to get our rights back. We're under their jurisdictions. And if we don't stand up for our rights, they're going to come in and invade our whole place, everything. They're going to take us over. They're going to put us under communists. They're going to Republic of Texas. That's the reason why they're standing up for our rights. If we don't stand up for our rights like they stood up, but the president okayed it for them to go in there and to do this, to shoot them, to take over, to invade their property, their land, their home. Just like they come in and invaded my home and took the children. We're going to be under communists if people don't listen. It's here now. Because they're going to shoot us. They're going to come into our homes. They're going to take our Bibles from us. They're going to put us under camps. They're going to take us over if we don't stand up for our rights and get our Constitution rights back. We need them back. Just like over here at Waco. They went in. Instead of, it wouldn't been all that happening. It wouldn't been all that burning. all that shooting. They could went in there and them people would came out, but instead they didn't give them a chance. They just went in and invaded and shot them and killed them and burnt them. That wasn't God, that was the enemy. It was strictly the state that was taking the control over everything. And that's the reason why we need to stand up for our Constitution rights. We need our freedom back. We need it. Well, we will not be under no bondage, under nobody. I want to thank Jeff Davis for getting my story out. I live in Burleson. Our children was very happy there. We was all happy till they come in and invaded our home. One of them's in the grave today over it. The other one's roaming the streets and don't know where he's at, under dope. The other one's got a wonderful home now. But they destroyed our home. And they're going to destroy your home if you don't stand up and watch what's going on around you. They're coming in and invading your home like they did us. Y'all keep a praying because they've already got the control of us. And this is Gloria Clark. God bless y'all.
Just think of how silly this picture looks.
Taping.
People losing their homes. Losing their lives. Parks being turned over to the UN soldiers in here.
That was
Hey, Dad, come here. Think of how silly.
Apple Metro.
He probably regrets the day he ever laid eyes on me, don't you think? Yeah, I'd say you're right.
that's right, you headquarters too. I remember
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, I can hear him.
I can see him on here.
That's a good word for it.
You're missing the bat. See, Charlotte, we're so bad. We're so bad. You see? Yeah, we got plenty of those here. So we got what? Over there.
Yeah, the Westerners use the fried cabbage, and they have nothing else to do there. And the sororities don't have houses. That's like more than 14 in a house or more house. They have dorm floors. Oh my goodness. It's one of those laws that need to be. Yeah, my friend. Yeah.
Can you see him?
Oh, now they're coming out pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, they were looking at us like we were crazy.
We went to Texas. I got out there and I was so he was spinning me. Oh, well, he do a lot of line dancing.
Although I think there's going to be a ton of them. All of y'all coming out of here. Yeah, we're coming out of here. Yeah, we're coming out from out there.
I thought it'd be like a cloud
I did too.
They sleep in the day and come out at night.
Yeah, there are quite a few colors. It's a triangle. Dude, Mark, you don't believe me.
What? You want me to see?
Go up underneath the bridge, Mike. Yeah. The videotape underneath the bridge. Oh, that's it. But you oh, I guess I can see it. Oh, yeah. I can see it. Wow, they're coming out now, man. I can't believe that meeting's so fun to do. Well, hell, they probably had to wait for the first 2,000 to come out and the rest of them come out.
Hello, it's Mike Hanson, your good Facebook buddy and YouTube buddy. Here's Jeff Davis, my great friend. We're not social distancing. See, we're in 2020 now. Tell me about 1995.
1995.
Well, that's what we're watching right now, Jeff.
You caught me off guard with that. I don't know anything of what's going on in 19. Oh,
That's
about how the technology is going to bring world peace.
Give him the shade here.
That's
Come
true.
on back.
Yeah, this fella and myself were in the Channel Austin TV studios in Austin, Texas, public access. About 1995,
96, 97, 98, 99.
And I said to Mike Hanson, we were in the control room, and I said to him, I said, Mike, you know, I don't know anything about this internet too much of what people are talking about, but if it turns out to be anything like people are talking about, it could bring world peace and liberty. And guess what, folks? On this date, 6 June 2020, we're heading into world peace and liberty.
We hope so.
No, that's 100% guaranteed. Jeff Davis Show, official prediction. And as you know, Mike, Jeff Davis Show has been deadly accurate on predictions. Great callings, Orwellian police states, Fed bank fleecing. But this prediction, Jeff Davis Show prediction, is going to bring the greatest world peace and prosperity in the history of the world. That's it.
Well, don't tell those protesters, because I actually told them, live and let live yesterday, and almost got beat up.
Those protesters, those people out there at them rallies, just keep on going, baby, because we're marching our way right into a better place in this world.
We hope so.
Jeff Davis show knows so. So just keep marching away and just keep going and going with love and peace. And before you know it, we're going to have heaven on earth.
We're going to get right back
That's
to
it, baby.
Peace. We're going to take you back to 1996, folks. We'll see you later.
Peace, baby.
God bless you.
That's it.
The fact is, I'm a nice guy, aren't I, Alex? That's one thing people don't know about me, but I'm actually a very nice guy.
You're real laid back.
With strong
You're a nice guy.
views, but I mean, can you imagine me going out trying to blow up a building? I'd blow up my arm. I'd blow my arm off before I even got there. I mean, that's how incompetent I am with something like that.
Well, the scary part is now if you challenge the reason the federal government's being challenged is they shoot pregnant women with who are carrying a baby in their arms, like Vicki Weaver off her front porch. They shot their kid in the back, shot the dog. Lon Horiuchi bragged about it. A local judge in Idaho, a female, strong woman by the way. And the only reason I say she's a female, the judge, I forget her name at the time, is because that's all people care about nowadays is the labels. She indicted Horiuchi, and guess what? Janet Reno had the trial moved to federal court and promptly had it killed, so he got away with shooting the dog first to get him to come outside, to shoot the pregnant woman in the head. Pieces of her skull flew into her baby's, her year-old baby in her arms. I watched the Senate hearings, by the way, so I know all about this. It all came out, but the media didn't even carry it when it came out. They ran little snippets about the right-winger racist when he got up there and said, "I have never been a racist. I was in Vietnam. I have black friends." Ricky Weaver was not a racist. They just throw out these lies. They do this. Waco rules of engagement conclusively showed them pumping in the gas, them firing in an incendiary device, flare, infrared, forward-looking infrared, the inventor of it on Waco rules of engagement. It was showed here at the Dobie a long time ago, about a year ago, conclusively proves that they did that. They held the fire trucks back. They lied. The FBI fired first. FBI's BATF's own footage when they were firing into the structure shows the bullets going in the door, not out the door. But in their testimony, they said that the Davidians fired first. All we're saying is, I'm not a Davidian, I'm not a militia member, I'm none of this. But it's the federal government with the helicopters and the power controlling your local police. It's the federal government that through its organizations, manipulate and control the media. This is human history reworking itself, and you've got women being pulled over now by police because of this intelligence network. You've got Gestapo agents driving around.
Let me just say something about the media while I can here. I've had quite a bit of dealings with the media.
Local media.
Well, even some national, maybe some alternative type stuff. But I can tell you that although that there is a controlled news curtain at the top, there's no doubt whatsoever. And anybody that doesn't know that, doesn't understand that, I'm just not even going to waste my time with that. But the fact is that many of the people that are in the media actually, there's some good people in the media. They're actually, there's a lot of them are just people like us,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've been guilty of making sweeping statements about the media, and but the fact is
But there is a segment of whether it's good reporting or bad reporting too.
Well, actually, I almost even didn't want to do this because that piece to me didn't really affect me that much, other than the fact that there was some the implications and the overtones of something like that, linking you to someone that could capable of getting a bomb and blowing up something. But the fact is, the media. Let's put it this way: the media people are in this big house of cards that we're all living under. They're expendable just like any of us.
Mm-hmm.
So if Rome collapses down on us, it's going down. It's going down on them as well. So
exactly.
That's
absolutely true.
That's the thing that we need to.
It's all tied together.
Sure, you bet. If Rome goes down on us, many of these people in the media and whatnot, it's going down on them as well.
It would be to their advantage. It'd be to their advantage, to everyone's advantage, for them to support the fact that you guys bring out alternative news. Well, even Mel Gibson, who is, I wouldn't say his film conspiracy theory shows that, but in interviews I've seen from Playboy magazine to Larry King Live to an HBO interview that I played here on Access Television. What does it show? It shows him saying, yeah, this is like human history. This is Roman history. This is Napoleon. This is worldview. He said, I'm just trying to And then it shows all the actors saying, yeah, we've been talking to Mel, he's really obsessed with this, and you know what, he's right. Makes me want to move to Switzerland. You know, this is real. And there's no value, there's no stake in not being a human being and not believing that you can actually have your own opinions and that you can actually mistrust power. I'm not asking you to follow me. I'm asking people out there to follow the Constitution of the United States of America. And what is the Constitution? It's a 220-something-year-old document. But I got news for you. What we're following right now is fascism, or socialism, or control, period. The whole spectrum's false. Fascism, socialism, totalitarianism, it's all the same thing. It's an elite who knows best, using force and brainwashing and mass conditioning and manufacturing consent to control us.
Yeah.
And what they're doing to you out there is they're slowly making you accept this and dumbing you down and drumming out people that will actually speak out. And all I'm saying to the media is guys, we can all, we can either all stand together or we can all hang together.
That's right.
And look at this human history.
That's what it is.
I'm not on the street corner saying I'm the engineer. I'm not saying we're all fixing to die. Okay, I'm not some kook. I'm saying look at human history. Just this century, 50 million conservatively that Stalin killed, 30 million that Mao killed, Hitler killed 40 million, Pol Pot killed, I say this every week, Pol Pot killed 2 to 3 million people. We're not sure. Just fields of skulls and skulls. Fidel Castro, that Clinton wants to buddy up with, has killed hundreds of thousands. We don't know because he still is in control there. We haven't been able to go in and dig up all the fields of dead bodies. Why do they always do this? Because control doesn't work. A caged bird wants to get out. And people revolt, people fight back, the system doesn't work, things break down, and they start killing people. And we're seeing this same incrementalism, gradualism into
Right.
I mean, yeah, let's play that with audio. Let's play that. Let's rewind it. This is a few weeks ago. Environmentalists, who are usually dupes of the establishment, the establishment uses environmentalism as a plan to deindustrialize this nation and then just ship all the production offshore where there's no environmental laws. But look, this is even happening to these poor guys that are ideologues who are trying to do something, but it isn't working for them, is it? Let's play that.
Coming out of a Fort Worth newspaper.
Interface, a computer,
and yeah. Well, right here is a, well, this is all neighborly footage right here. Wouldn't you say that's neighborly? Very neighborly actions going on here by the de facto.
Oh, wait, no, this is the protesters.
Oh, that's where they're getting the mace sprayed in their face?
They're getting the pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
On Q-tips, and it's being directly applied to their eyes.
That's all neighborly. This is all neighborly here, folks. We don't have to worry about nothing here. This is a loving system that we're under. So don't worry about anything. Okay, let's go ahead and show this here.
That's good. That's from Jeff Davis's show last night. He had the tape, and I said, yeah, we ought to show some of the neighborly activity.
Neighborly, yeah, that's the new term. As we were running this new finger. Oh, well, I guess we can.
We'll go ahead and talk about it
just briefly. We ran a segment about 4-minute video. It's loving and neighborly. They call it neighborly. The Texas Health and Human Services. It's that Health and Human Services. Now are moving towards fingerprint and imaging, photo imaging of all welfare recipients in the state of Texas. It's all quite neighborly. Of course, basically what it means is you give more of your information up to the state.
Well, wait. I brought you last night the actual federal law. They're saying it's for welfare people. Well, I got news for you. Back in 1992, the supposed thumb scanning at the DPS here in Texas, which is a federal mandate if we want our highway funds, what did they say to us? They said, if you want your driver's license or to renew it now, you can do it once through the mail, and then after 6 years, everybody's have to go in. And everybody's starting to find out. It's been going on since '93. People are just now finding out. They thumb scan you like a criminal. Now, that was supposed to be for welfare recipients. Now we're hearing it's for everybody. And guess what? In late 98, supposedly other states with their highway funds, they're going to do a pilot program, and then by 2000s for everybody. Urine and blood testing for a driver's license, and they're going to put in clinics. What's next? I don't know what'll come after that. Who knows what they'll want to do after that? What does the law say right at the top, or the regulation? The bureaucrat law that nobody voted for, that Clinton just decreed. it says, carte blanche. The media should check into this if they want a real story. I'm sure people will be very interested in this. If all, people ought to talk about this. Urine and blood testing for everybody, and the law says, or the regulation, it says for people under 18, and then right below it, and that's what the media said 6 months ago on the radio and TV. They said, oh, for people under 18, Clinton's saying we need urine testing and blood testing for people under 18 to get a life. People said, oh, they're youngins. They don't have their rights yet. Let's do it for them. When you actually read the Federal Register, it says 25% randomly selected from the population. So you go up to thumb scan, and if your number spins up, it says you get urine and blood tested, and they say, please go over here to the clinic. This is all about violating you and getting you used to marching into the gas chambers.
And if you refuse,
you don't get to drive.
Yep.
You don't get to write checks. You don't get to live. No longer is it enough.
You no longer own anything. You just have subsistence to where that you now are in a slave. You have a slave mentality. You live as a slave.
Well, no longer do they just want 52% from the average person in some form of tax. No longer is it just follow and have 100 tags and 100 rules and just more and more and more for your best interest and cameras being put up and thumb scanners and all this. Now they want to violate you if you don't give us urine and blood and everything else because it's for your best interest.
Well, they like to keep track of the slaves.
Well, it's to stop the drugs. Remember. But since the drug war gets bigger and bigger, triple the heroin's flowing in, double the coke's flowing in that it was 6 years ago. The bigger this drug war gets, the more drugs flow in.
Of course.
And it gives them an excuse to build up the military-industrial complex. And now the military-industrial complex doesn't have these enemies around the world, so they own the media now. And that's a fact. The biggest holders of media stock is military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about. Not Alex Jones. President Eisenhower, in his farewell address from a huge university, when he left in 1960, said, watch out for the military-industrial complex, which he had ran. He was warning us.
Well, he knew. He knew what was coming.
And it's here.
But ultimately, it comes down to this. People that print that.
Yeah, it's, this confetti. Let's get a close-up of this.
These are the people that own complex.
Yes, the bankers. And remember, I don't mean all banks. I mean the Sweetheart 1913 top 10 banks, European and New York banks, Rothschild and Rockefeller Interest, ran a scam where they print paper money.
They're the ones financing the military-industrial complex.
If you want to freeze it, that's a good freeze shot. That right there is what matters. And that is confetti money that I'm showing you right there. It's the same thing. But if I could convince you to let me print that, and then I could charge you interest on it and charge your government interest on it, well, why would that? If it's just paper, why would these banks want interest back on their paper, on their scam? Because if you default, they get their property. They get your land. They buy governmental control with the paper money.
Everything's in deeds. Everything.
It's just like the devil comes to you with a contract wanting to rip you off. We have been sold down the river. It's a huge scam of the ultimate proportions, and that's why I believe these forums will be shut down if they can. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to mention that it doesn't matter when you're talking about when we're talking about the confetti or the real, or actually, let's get the, no, I don't have any on my wall. But when you talk about
here, I'll get it.
It doesn't really matter what the funding level is. This is something that people don't understand. If you watch these city council meetings, for example, you'll see east versus west side. They're all fighting over these goods and so-called goods and services. It's like the slave master holds up a carrot. After they've stolen from everybody to get the resources, they hold up the carrot, and then all the slaves are fighting for their piece of the confetti.
They
can't see how they're being manipulated in that process.
Exactly.
And it's true. This is not some conspiracy. If people would just get off their ass and check it out and find out 1913 was when the giant money trust, Woodrow Wilson 3 years later on his deathbed said, I have sold this country down the river. I was conned. And then
trade.
In fact, I wish I had his actual quote. In fact, let's get a close-up of this.
There's not too much difference between...
Yeah, this right here. Let's get a close-up. Okay, this is confetti printed by the Federal Reserve. This is a Federal Reserve note. And it's private, and it tells only the Fed chairman, Alan Greenspan is appointed. The other 5 members, the 7-member board, 2 are appointed for 4-year terms, but the others. And that's a wonderful... this right here. So let's get one more close-up. This confetti and this confetti are the same damn thing. The only difference is they charge the country interest for the Federal Reserve note, and the other stuff is used in monopoly games. So That's what it comes down to.
Let me also mention in relation to this. Keep in mind, folks, that one time not too long ago, this money was our currency was actually backed by silver or gold, which means you could have taken it to a bank or the Treasury Department and receive so much silver or gold for it. And now this is literally backed by faith. In fact, it says here it's a legal note. It's not even actually
and through their power, there was massive amounts of gold and silver free in the U.S. economy. That's what made us such a dynamo until about 1920. The important thing to note, Jeff, about this whole confetti system is the central banks of the world didn't have very much of the gold and the silver. But 50 years after that, the International Bank of Settlements, Rothschild's interest in Europe, and Rockefeller entrance have over 2/3 of the world's gold reserves. So they're talking about the European Economic Community. Listen, they're talking about the European Economic Community that's fixing to go online the next year. They're already partially online, which will have a $8.9 trillion a year economy, which will be over $1 trillion bigger than ours a year size economy. What are they going to do to us? They are going to have a partially backed gold currency, and ours is backed by nothing but faith. There, no longer will the dollar be number one. It will be the EU note, the European Union note, and we will be sunk. This is economic warfare, and no one will talk about this.
What's funny about this thing is that most people a lot of people just have these sitting around in their wallets. They have absolutely no consumption, no idea of where this comes from, who prints this. They just think of it as something where you can go to, but the power to print these,
it's the power to control,
is absolutely one of the most powerful mechanisms in all history. And he who has the power to print these basically has the power to control all government.
He who has the gold makes the rule, or we can say what...
And this is the message that I believe is getting a lot of people in trouble around here. Not just down here in Access, or I believe all across America, anybody that dares talk about the power behind the money and the ones that are controlling the puppeteers in Washington. This is what I believe is getting many people in trouble. Wouldn't you say that's a fair assumption, folks?
I would say so.
I would say it, and that's what it comes down to. Is you're basically lied to on every front, and before anybody dismisses this, they need to ask themselves, Bo, which calls do I go to? Whoever? Or I'll go to...
No, we don't have any yet.
Well, the banks are full. Oh, you're screening calls tonight? Okay, we'll screen the calls.
Let me say this out before we move on here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, sure, man.
I'm extremely exhausted today, so I'm not in my normal...
You've had a long day today.
Yeah, I've had a real long day working, and
I have too, boy.
But I do appreciate the opportunity because I honestly believe that intentionally or not, this may be one of the first times that I'm aware of where unsolicited, I was, my character was somewhat
impugned.
Yeah, impugned, and so and I appreciate you and Wes and all of y'all down here, telling these people that what kind of a guy I am, number one, that I'm not these type of things.
Well, that's because we care about you.
Thank you. And number two, that this is going on a national basis. There is direct attempts to demonize people, and I'm not saying this is it.
Well, we've been saying this for a long time. We've been saying this like down at the conferences every month. We've been saying that that at some point somebody's going to come in as we start to build an audience, we start to get people together and people talking and waking up and understanding and teaching other people and reaching out and this kind of thing, that somebody's got to come in there and paint this as something that it's not. Now, we've been talking about that for a long time.
And unintentionally or not, this kind of, in its own way, with the 24 piece, over the last couple of days, it's shed some bad light. Because like you said, a lot of people will want to come and listen to us for our information.
Yes.
But they may not want to be associated with people that they think are, malicious.
That's one of the oldest forms of control. Heretic! Burn that witch!
That's right. That's right.
How dare her give her children some herbs to make her well?
It's been around from the time of Dot.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Just like Mel Gibson says.
Yeah.
I actually, I will get your all's opinion on this. I actually consider it somewhat of a compliment, though, That's why I couldn't understand Mike's reaction.
Well, you're definitely climbing the list.
opposed to me.
You don't understand Mike's reaction. His wife was then pulled over and asked if she was in a militia.
Yeah.
And she has no militia stickers, and then we hear on the news piece that we just played from last night from KVUE 24, where it shows the federal guy or whoever he is up there saying, "Watch out for these guys. Watch. We're setting up we've already set up an intelligence." See, now they're coming out with it. They've got a Gestapo, a federal secret police, working with the police. Out here, they're training. The black helicopters are real.
Now it's on a local level.
Oh, why don't you
People now can understand. Anyone that's been watching any of you guys' shows have thought, well, it's off in some other state. It's off in some other country. It's someplace else in the state. But it's right here in Austin. It's right here, and here it is.
Alex, why don't you tell your viewers here just exactly what you saw all over my residence? And I believe you more now. Not that I didn't believe you before, but after certain events over the last 4 or 5 days, tell me what you saw over my residence just a few days back.
I really don't want to tell them.
You don't want to tell them?
I don't want to. It's too much.
Well, tell them.
Well, again, I've talked to police here in town. You know that I lift weights.
Hey, you said you're. Well, one of the reasons here is to protect us all.
Well, I'm going to do this. I've told people that I've talked to SWAT team commanders, I've talked to police, I've seen the infrared cameras they're putting on top of some of the police cars. I've seen the Lair News Hour from the 23rd of September. I've played it here that they admit that there's local police controlled by the feds with black helicopters with infrared surveillance of people. They're buying armored personnel carriers. They're buying automatic weapons. There is a federal control. They're sharing information. Totally, they're under federal command. Elizabeth Watson just left to a Justice Department job, $244,000 a year. You know, she left about 6-8 months ago to that job. I knew this was real. I'd seen black helicopters, but couldn't tell they were military or what. They had no markings. I've been out at my uncle's in Llano and seen like 10 of them fly by. I was out one night camping out with some friends, and saw some black helicopters fly by and shine spotlights. So I thought, oh, maybe it's just police or something. I was driving over to Jeff's house in northwest Austin. We were going to do a radio broadcast on an international radio show. We were going to call into it from his place. And I was driving about 2 miles away from his house. I couldn't even see his house yet. I knew where his neighborhood was because I've been over there about 50 times. And this is a week and a half ago. What was it, last Wednesday?
Yeah, about last Wednesday, yeah.
And okay, well then less than a week.
Yeah, less than a week.
And I see, and again, so much has gone on. I see a black helicopter, but not a big Huey like the ones that the government tells us they have. I see this little bitty black pod helicopter flying above your place, about 300 feet above. And I see it as I drive. I pull into the parking lot, and I begin honking wild. Now, you were in your bedroom getting ready for the broadcast to come out. Me and you were going to phone in from your place for like an hour and a half broadcast we did. And I was honking, and your son heard me honking, and I got out of the car, and I look up, and the helicopter's there, right above, hovering, probably with infrared, like they admit they have, looking through your walls, like we've talked about here, and all of a sudden it just zooms off. I came in, told you, and you were like, really? Yeah, I saw one 4 years ago, before they even built that HEB over there. I saw a black helicopter hovering. And I just kind of went, well, okay. And everybody knows, the people here at Access Television, people where I work at a radio station, I was sent $500. Registered mail, said, please give this to Timothy McVeigh, you asked for it. Well, I've said I don't take money. I've been offered money 100 times. If I'd have taken the money, I would have been linked to McVeigh, which I have nothing to do with. If I would have kept the money, they probably would have sent more and trapped me, just like they did to Lorian. They did to everybody else. That's the way they make their money, or that's the way they bust people, is in trapping them. I shelved that, talked about it one time. A lot of things have gone on.
Well, just in the last week, what's happened to me? You have the helicopter that you saw, and then you have this deal with Mike today. Mm-hmm. It's actually starting. This thing. It's starting to
accelerate.
Well, it's starting to actually get a little bit intimidating.
Well, the fact is they.
That doesn't mean I'm going to cowtown down or back off. But the fact is.
But see, you're on radio. You're on television. You're expanding. You're getting not only just in Texas, but you're getting out in other states around the country.
That's what did it. Yeah.
See, people are listening to Jeff Davis in other states around the country.
Yeah, now I'm on with you. Oh,
and they're paying attention to Austin, Texas. What in the hell is going on in Austin, Texas?
In fact, I've been called by some top-level Democrats. Let me get in on some of the. I'm getting to be a great militia person or something. I've been called by top-level Democrats and some Republicans that were mid-level. And they're like, how'd you get that FM radio show? How'd you do that? You ought to come away from that and be part of our team. But you just got to stay away from that Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
And then they, at the flag burning, they sent out some of their Democrats from the Democratic Party and told us, Alex, you ought to get away from that. You were there. You ought to, and they've been doing this to Jeff. They called him a racist 4 years ago. So, was it
well,
five?
I really think that things are really starting to accelerate now. And if you watch that, that news clip even showed where they're admitting now that they have some type of information gathering system. What does that mean here in America? Let me ask you all, folks, you and our viewers.
Well, the problem is, hold on.
What does that mean?
The FBI. Well, let's
here
get,
in America.
Wait. Some people are for this.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Let's get something straight here.
I don't
the FBI. It is the FBI's job to investigate inside the nation. It is the CIA's job to work on espionage, counter-espionage, economic or military, or terrorists worldwide. It's nobody else's job. It's the BATF's job to worry about alcohol, tobacco, and firearm tax payments not coming in and busting your house. Now you've got local police departments, local SWAT team people, local control from the federal down with grants and monies, and they're buying off your police chiefs by offering them bigger federal jobs later if they go along with things. So that's what's happening. And again, Mike Hanson's wife, after the news story today at about 4:15, she told me, was pulled over by police and wasn't asked for her driver's license, wasn't told she was speeding, was told, are you part of a militia? Do you have any firearms? Is Mike, and his last name, is he in a militia? Shaking down a woman on the side of the street sounds like something Nazis would do.
That's the real problem. That's the real problem right there.
It is a huge problem.
Well, let me make my point here, Alex. I want to, just the idea that they are now openly saying that there's some type of investigative
body.
We're investigating.
And they don't tell us who it is. It's secret.
Here in America,
secret police.
Folks, let me ask you all, here in America, where ideas are supposed to be exchanged freely, what does that mean? Maybe I'm naive, but I don't understand what that means.
Let's say one thing.
To watch and track everything that we do.
Like a UPS package, you're going to have to thumb scan within 5 years to buy and sell. Visa's running commercials. Lockheed's running commercials about thumb scanning to buy and sell. The DPS is putting in the same system on a federal scale. Everybody is doing the same thing. It's an integrated system controlled by the banks.
That's right. That's right. And they want to track every
like
single...
a UPS package.
Track every
like
single
a UPS package.
Exactly. And that's the only... Because you can't tell the difference between a good guy and a bad guy. What's the difference? How do you know, when you're looking at two people, how do you know this person's a criminal or this person's not? You don't know the difference. But if you have a number on these people and you've built up a record over years and what have you, and all you have to do is pull it up, and you know right away that's the bad person, pull him in, you know? So they have to build a tracking system to track everybody.
And how they're going to track you is with, on state borders, I noticed when around the country, in Kansas and in New Mexico and other places, they have these toll roads, where it's $6 to go through the toll road for 50 miles if you don't have the transmitter transponder in your car that automatically charges it to you. It's 25 cents. Now, tell me where the incentive is. Also, when you thumb scan to buy and sell, you bought a pack of cigarettes, you bought some milk, you bought baby food, whatever you buy it, and you thumb scan, and it gives a record like a UPS package.
They know how you live. They know how you live.
They know where you work.
They know how you work. They know what you eat. They know where you sleep. They know how you spend your money. They know where your entertainment is. They know who your friends are. They know exactly what's going on, and they track you all the time. So they know that certain profiles meet certain threats to what they want to do.
And people will say, what's wrong with that? It's called an invasion of privacy. It's called unconstitutional.
Exactly.
And if the federal government was really going after criminals and drug dealers and all these murders and putting police out front...
Well, that's not what they're doing.
Well, here it is. Putting police out front schools rather than...
Criminals can't police criminals.
That's exactly it.
That's right.
Yes. Well, here's the deal. All they do is give us misinformation, dogma lies. Once you lie to me 5 or 6 times, I never trust you again.
Exactly.
And all they do is lie verbatim. And so the Constitution's been wadded up and thrown in the toilet. We're following an authoritarian paradigm. I want to tell my producer something. Rewind the tape that has the preachers on it. I want to run about 10 minutes of that, or I'll tell you what, run it back to the Social Security piece. It's at the first of that tape. The tape that has the preachers on it. Okay, rewind that tape. I tell you what, I'll run the Social Security piece next week. Rewind it all the way to the front and run, there's about 10 minutes of some stuff at the front of that tape. We'll play that for a break so we can take a quick break. And we'll come back.
Some of these calls have been holding for a long time.
While he's rewinding, we'll go to the phone calls. Okay. Go ahead. Hello, caller, you're on the air. How you doing? We'll turn the caller up.
This is Hap.
Hey, Hap.
Hey, I just talked to Joyce, and what y'all are talking about, this old boy's wife getting hassled, is the same thing that happened to in a grander scale up in Roby, Illinois, about 2 weeks ago. That woman's in the hospital right now. She's under psychiatric isolation.
Well, I think what's funny about it all, Hap, is the fact that no one can link it to any of this. However, there's two things that are very funny about this. First off, the news story that came out like yesterday, but more importantly, just the idea that they're admitting that they are gathering information on certain types of political philosophies.
And they pulled...
That is so dangerous. I don't think people understand the ramifications.
The important point is that I don't want to miss here is they pulled his wife over less than 24 hours after that story ran at 6 o'clock. 23 or 22 and a half hours later, his wife was pulled over in the rain 1 mile from her home or 2 miles from her home and asked, do you have guns in the car? Are you in a militia? Is your husband Mike? And said his last name. Asked her all these questions, knew who she was, and she said, and they said, don't you have some family that's in law enforcement? She said, yes. And then they said, okay, you can go. After they kept her sitting there for 30 minutes, had to go home and pick up her kids that her mother was keeping. And what did they do? Followed her a mile closer to her house and pulled her over again. And got her out again and asked her questions. And this is 22 hours after they run a story showing his face, his family's face, and saying out-of-state militia, and his name wasn't even on the screen. They had to have called the media and gotten his name. It's just the only way it could have been done.
Let me mention this too. Oh, either that or through some type.
They already know his name.
Either that or through some type of informational gathering system. This is the other option here. But let me just. I want you all to think about this, the listeners here. I have had four people call our comment line over just this last week and tell me they have seen, just in Travis County, on different occasions, unmarked black helicopters flying all over Travis County.
And I saw one hovering over your house
here was one of
for 3 minutes.
Hovering over my residence.
For 3 minutes. I saw it.
What is that? What is that all about? I want somebody to tell me, what is that all about?
Well, Hap is a military commander. He's not telling us his name, but he is going to be out there the 7th of December for an open to the public Gulf War Symposium for vets in Round Rock. I've seen Hap's photos. He is he's pretty high ranking. I've had him on my FM radio show. He has been right there. He can't come on the TV show because he'll automatically be kicked out, but after this meeting, he probably will be anyways. And they were at Camisea where the dumps were blown up. He saw U.S. chemical and biological weapons in Saddam's arsenal. Our troops were attacked. The reason we're not treating them is because George Bush and James Baker, who own part of Tanox, are used to a weapons production firm or make the ingredients in Houston, funneled this stuff to the Justice Department. And maybe we're getting some heat because we're talking about them now. But go ahead and tell us.
That's a part of it. Also, in the 15 October edition of USA Today, Schwarzkopf came out and he admitted he lied by saying that he was not aware of any of the chemical agents in the Gulf. So there's
listen, I need
dominoes are falling.
Yes, it's coming down. Hap, I need to get another Joyce Riley documentary from you. I turned the documentary in and it's disappeared.
What a surprise!
And so I've got to turn in. I'm going to turn it in again. I don't think they lost. Now the people down here are real nice. I must have mislabeled it or something. Let's just put it that way.
That's fine. Hey, y'all just need to be aware that there are a bunch of indicators.
Well, I can tell you something.
Let
me make this point, Hap. It's Hap, right?
Yeah.
Let me make this point. I have been talking about these things for a good number of years.
4 years.
Yeah. And for the first time, I'm actually now really starting to to see this stuff. You know, I mean, even I had doubts of some of these
Oh,
things.
it's too huge. But,
You know, but when you start talking about people getting pulled over and ask, what does your husband do for his employment? And unidentifiable helicopters hovering over people's houses.
And news stories.
What is this all about? Maybe I'm naive, Hap. Maybe I'm naive.
There's the camera right there.
But I want to know I want somebody to tell me what is this all about? What is it all about?
Well, you can read
What is
it.
it? Let me just finish this point. What does it mean in a country where we're supposed to have a free exchange of ideas?
Yes.
All of our opinions should be accepted, and we are now having conditioning stories and information about some type of information gathering on political philosophies. I don't understand what that means here in a land that's supposed to be free of ideas.
Well, they killed
I don't understand these.
Well, they
things.
killed Martin Luther King. They I mean, you know, they had files since on everybody.
Well, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah, tell us.
Called a New World Order is what it
Listen,
is.
he can't tell you about this, but I've actually seen the documentation. This guy's been in. He's been in it.
It's real simple.
Seen the photos.
Where we're headed is a very controlled environment, and
that's human history.
Well, I would submit that we're already there.
You're correct in.
It's degrees.
It could get worse.
It's degrees of control.
Yeah, if the slave masters allow it, it could get worse. But we're already in a controlled environment.
Well, y'all need to.
Yeah, have to say a few words, and then I want to.
Hey, just watch out for yourselves. And the indicators are the heat is getting turned up. Okay. Everybody needs to be aware that they need to talk to each other. This is a dialogue that must be moderated by the people.
They're not going to shut us up. I'm prepared to be a martyr.
And not by a news anchor that's a talking head.
Well, let me ask you, so what do you see, what are some of the things you see then with some of the information you've got, other than...
I've seen the photos. This guy is real. I mean, it's...
Can we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Well, which party?
Well, I know you can't go too deep into it, but I mean, just explain to us the level of control, the units, the military units acting inside the U.S. in surveillance of citizens that have nothing to do with drugs.
Let me ask you this, Hap. In your opinion, is it going to get to the point where we are publicly told that foreign troops are now in this land?
UN.
Or any type of troop, Chinese or other, but we are publicly told that
I don't think that's
foreign
gonna happen.
troops are now maintaining order in this
I think
land.
they got troops, U.S. troops that'll do it. Go ahead, Hap.
No, that won't be admitted. You'll see, it'll have to be the people that'll report on it within their own information network. The big four networks, they are not reliable. They are controlled dispersion of a calculated piece of information that will lull us, continues to lull us into a sense of
security. Security through government. Well, first they'll show us
security.
First they'll show us fear. First they'll show us fear, and then they'll say the solution is government. We're here to keep you safe.
You're right.
Right. Well,
order out of chaos.
Correct. And it's a real simple process. I don't want to take y'all's time to go over it.
It's warfare. It's psychological warfare.
Right. It's an information war. You guys are presenting alternative information.
Real information.
Which is backed by, hard facts.
Now, let me ask you a question. Why did Lair NewsHour, and I know you've watched the show and called in when I ran the footage, where they admit black helicopters with infrared, local police are spying into our homes? It's a great idea. I mean, why are they admitting it now?
They can't get away from it. Why did Lloyd Doggett today at the Veterans Rally at the Capitol try to soft sell that the Gulf War syndrome, that the VA is going to be so loving and take care of us now?
7 years after. And now CBS, I heard, admits that 80,000 troops are on the edge of death.
This stuff is too big, it's happening too fast, and they can't control it.
God, I'm scared.
And
well, for the first time, Alex, I may be a little bit too. Because a lot of these things that I've been talking about, I mean, it's right there, man. It's right in your face.
Let me tell you, we all may go to jail, but
they're going to fail in the end.
their own
fraud
greed.
cannot last forever.
Because they'll start feeding on each other. That's the paradigm.
They're already feeding on each other. It's the personalities that are involved in this type of behavior. That's what they do.
I love that. The personalities that are involved in this type of behavior.
Psychopaths.
It's a power struggle.
They are sociopaths, absolute sociopaths.
And the mad stampede of these organized criminals, knocking each other off and moving up this thing is to who can dominate us the quickest, who can subvert us the quickest, who can control us, who's going to control the money flow, the computer systems, who's going to be able to buy up and control the whole third world. They're trying to marginalize the U.S. Anybody that doubts the UN's power, they're fixing this month to go to Kyoto, Japan and restrict our fossil fuels by 20% and nobody else has to make cuts. I mean, that's open energy war against us.
Correct. And those people that still believe that a Second Amendment is a part of our Constitution need to look at a UN treaty that's going through these.
Everything. The UN, listen, they just shut down Yosemite in California. I was around the country. I'm trying to put it together right now as hard as I can. I've got the footage. I may even show some clips next week if my show's still around and I'm still here. This stuff is, I hope there's just enough of us to state it so they'll leave us alone. It's safety in numbers.
You have to do it in public.
Well, we have to do it in public. We have to put this on the record, and they may use legal means. Who knows? But the important fact is that the UN now controls most of our national parks. They're shutting them down to cars. Next, who knows? It's all to see what they can do. It's all just to get us used to them telling us where to pee. It's all, you pee in this pot, you do this in that pot. It's telling us how to wipe our noses.
Well, we're being trained exactly the same way that you train a dog or you train something else.
Exactly. This is classical conditioning.
Conditioning.
Yes.
Right.
And you UT professors out there need to get off your asses and stop talking about all this and to get involved in real information.
Hey, one more thing, guys. I'll stop blocking y'all's phone line. Is remember, the cool head is going to prevail here, and these people are they are going to trump their hand, and they're going to do it in public.
Because they're so full of themselves. Yeah, I mean,
their arrogance and their greed is going to trip them, and they are not cautious. And the proof is out there. So,
what are you reading? Law enforcement personnel.
Wait a minute. Don't go this over the air yet.
Well,
just go ahead and.
I'll get off the air. Y'all take care.
Thanks, Al.
Keep doing the right thing.
Alex, I think one thing that's going to happen is.
Oh my God, guys, something's going on. But let's go ahead.
I think the people are going to. There's going to be a group of people that are going to say that they want to be identified, and they want to be identified separate from anybody who is a problem to the flow of this thing.
Hap, I appreciate your call.
Yeah.
We just got a note. Let me see this.
I think you better hold off, Alex. Did he want this right over the air?
No. Let's hold off.
Line 1, they've been waiting a long time.
Okay, we'll go to line 1, then we'll go to this video for about 10 minutes, and we'll be back.
I'll call Mike when we get down here.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, Alex. I think it's super that you putting this on the air tonight and everything, and helping out Jeff and definitely Mike and everything.
Well, we're taking a real risk, and I want y'all to support Access Television, support our programs, and just please, if something happens, just keep fighting.
Oh, it ain't nothing going to happen, Alex, and everything. The main thing is that Mike is my brother-in-law, and I really hate to see tonight that they targeted him on national TV as a some type of...
Oh, you're the police officer. I've met you.
No, I'm not the police
you're the other
officer.
brother-in-law.
I'm the other brother-in-law, right. And I really hate that they focus Mike in as a target into that, is that Mike is just now beginning to come out and see the real focus of the government and really how it moves, because he before believed like every other American.
He was in the military.
Right. Well, actually, you go by orders, and whatever you was told, you don't question it. You just do it and everything on it. And
now his wife's being pulled over and shaken down and asked who her husband is.
Yeah, what's so really crazy about that today is, after I talked to Mike a while ago on the phone and everything, I was today, when I left my job site around 4 o'clock, I had actually a Austin officer follow me for about 10 miles, and then I had a DPS came in behind me. I was thinking, what in the heck is going on? So when I was talking to Mike while ago, I really didn't think nothing much about it, because they didn't pull me over. they just, I guess, follow me far enough to run my tag and everything down.
But let's make something clear. You go over to Mike's for picnics and family fun.
Yeah, but we not.
No, you're a militia, sir. You're very dangerous.
Well, whatever people want to think, that's fine.
You're evil.
But the main thing is that I wished, and Mike wishes, and I believe Jeff with all my heart wishes that the people will open up their eyes. All we're trying to do is make sure that people understand that we're being naive here. I mean, we're being brainwashed, and the easiest way to do it is by TV. So now, after this deal incident run, what I figured that we should do, and that now we have the upper ball, and you might can call the questions. Y'all guys know more about it than I do, but we have the upper hand right now. I think that they owe my brother-in-law on national TV apology for 10 minutes for anything he wants to say. If he don't want to come out, he can put him under black, under a veil, whatever. Mike has already been exposed. Now it's time for us to come out of the closet and move on with it and everything. I believe that they owe Mike 10 minutes on national TV. I believe they owe
that's not gonna happen.
Davis 10 minutes on national TV. That way they can tell their side of the story and everything on it. We all have guns.
Well, this was local television. I mean, Jeff's been on national before, but this was local. Now,
I understand that, but it's on TV.
It's a national affiliate, yes.
They showed it in Austin. They show it just like they'd show your TV station nationwide. I mean, anybody that picks up that cable channel just received that. They just marked my brother-in-law as a malicious group killer.
A out-of-town militia member, and suddenly his wife's being pulled over if she comes home from work.
I'll probably get pulled over tomorrow, but I don't care because...
That's fine. They can, you know what? They can take me out of the car. They can take me out of the car, and they can blow my brains all over the pavement. I don't care. I'm not carrying firearms. I'm peaceable, and I'm ready. I'm going to be peaceable to the end, just like many great patriots. I'm going to let them, and I'm going to be peaceful. And I don't think anything bad is going to happen. But I believe in the future, if we don't turn this around, the whole country...
The main thing our problem is right now, we can be hard-headed or we can be smart-headed. The gentleman you just had on the phone, like he explained to y'all, if you blow up and you act stupid, then they're going to make us look stupid.
Exactly.
They have more money, more knowledge,
resources,
and all of us we have, because all they got to do is a bunch of idiots sit around and think up something to make us look stupid.
You got it. Sir, I really appreciate your call.
The main thing is, what we need to do is, we have an upper hand right now. It's how we play our cards to make us look the best. Now, if you think...
Well, sir, we don't have... Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. We don't have an upper hand. We don't have an upper hand.
We're getting our asses kicked.
We've got the media at the national level. This is going on in every community. We just got a lot of resistance here in Austin. So, go ahead, sir.
You're not going to have the upper world change the whole hand, but you do have the upper hand right now. I mean, I'm not trying... You're probably a smarter man than I am.
No, I'm not. You're probably... No, I don't get into that.
You have the upper hand right now. Now, it depends on how you play your hand, on how you're going to win at the end of the card game and everything. So the basic deal is...
Listen, I'm cool. When I'm saying that... What I'm saying...
Do you know what the one thing that would stop this whole thing is if people...
An investigation of the Federal Reserve.
Well, yeah, but it is if people would quit doing would start doing what's right instead of their just their job.
Go along to get along.
Instead of just their job.
Go along to get along.
That's what would stop it. That would mean that
when people start being citizens, we'll be treated like citizens. But we're acting like subjects right now.
I'm talking about police. Start following the Constitution. Quit violating people. I'm talking about the abortion doctors making $300,000 a year off slaughtering
and that's a personal decision.
Right.
I mean, they don't have to take an order. They don't have to take an order. It's a personal decision whether they want to abuse a protester or a resistor. They don't have to do that.
People getting into tanks in Waco, Texas, and running them into structures of men, women, and children. Quit sending your young 18-year-old kids to go to be slaughtered 10,000 miles away for desert fraud. Quit this foolishness. Start standing up for what's right and quit doing what you're told.
The American people are good people. And I just believe they were given a little bit of good information. That's why this is turning around here in Austin. I got people slap me on the back. We've been out everywhere we go. To a restaurant, 10 people come up to the table. It's just really growing. They know it. They've done their polls.
All we can do, Alex, is hope that it's going on not only nationwide, but on an international base, because this is a world problem at this point.
Well,
we can only hope that this type of activity is going on
globally. Well, listen, we're going to this tape for about 10 minutes. I got to take a break, and we'll be back and we'll get to all your phone calls, and I'll try to shut up and let people get some information in here. It's just this subject is really hot, really important. Another thing is stop being so petty and so small-minded. You know, people will trust the government, but they won't trust their neighbor. People will trust a bureaucrat, but they won't trust, their boss. And I'm not saying trust any of those people. I'm just saying people are so petty. By being petty and small-minded, only caring about yourself and only being fearful, you make yourself an even bigger target, an even bigger victim. It's just farther down the line you're going to get the payoff, which is going to be hell. And I mean hell here on earth, my friends. This is what most of the world's like. And damn it, if we let them keep demonizing American history and getting us ready to accept globalism, which is not free trade, it's global slave through manipulation of money. We'll be right back in a few
Sorry to
minutes.
interrupt your classic viewing, but here is Jeff Davis. What is it?
Legendary Jeff Davis show.
And what should they do?
Well,
subscribe to...
I gotta make my proper
Okay, go ahead.
introduction.
Go ahead.
Legendary Jeff Davis show, baby. From Central Texas, USA. Best in the world for 30 years.
And you're watching some
We're watching
25-year-old...
Mike Hanson Archives here on Facebook. Now, Mike, tell us about your...
Okay, well, you don't interrupt. Let's go right back to Jeff Davis.
All right, this is Jeff Davis.
But yet the lead started to fly, and you can argue back and forth about who started, I guess. I just like to know, though, what happened to the door? The very piece of evidence that would have proven what shots came from where. You see, that's crucial. There it is. See, I'm no dumbass. I know a thing or two about the law, and I know a thing or two about evidence. And that was a very, very important piece of evidence that seemed to come up missing somehow. Now, another question I have, your use of deadly force policy at the ATF, can you just kind of, in 20 words or less, can you tell me what justifies the use of deadly force in the ATF?
Is that what the question is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Deadly force is to protect the lives of other people, to protect the lives of your fellow officers, and protect your life.
Okay.
It's
Now,
imminent danger.
Okay. Second question here, and I'm done. Did you order a bulldozer to knock down a wall in a house that you knew had women and children in it, perhaps injured individuals? Did you order that?
Did I order it?
Yeah.
No.
Who ordered it?
I have no idea.
Again, now I come back. You were there 1,100 feet from there.
1,100 yards.
1,100 yards. You could have jumped in a pickup truck, drove up there, and tried to stop what was happening that day.
No, because when it started, I was at home. I drove.
No, wait a minute. You said you were 1,100.
I was 1,100. I drove from my residence once I saw it on TV, and I drove up there, back up there. I was not there when the thing started. No.
I just have a real problem with the violation of posse comitatus there. I have a real problem with the fact that gas was used, gas that was widely known to be carcinogenic on kids. And you people in the federal government want us to believe that you care about our children. You've got to be out of your minds. And I'm going to leave on this. I do hope that you people in the federal police organizations, I do hope you'll stop and remember from time to time that I know y'all got a herd of y'all out there. You could blacken the horizon. But we got 300 million firearms on our side. And I think one or two of us know a thing about pulling a trigger. And if it comes to a shooting war, we're going to protect ourselves. We're going to back you up all the way. But I still hold true to the fact that if I saw a coworker or I see another human being, I don't care what he's wearing, and he's over here and he's going to illegally use deadly force, I'm prepared to put a round in his head. And I don't care who he works for. And it's a damn crying shame that there weren't a bunch of us around back then to surround you bastards and take you down.
All right.
Thanks for coming, sir. My name is John. First of all, I just want his official position. He is here officially. I would not believe anything that the ATF or FBI says at this point. My question, sir, is listening to your comments, you seem to be really dangerously ignorant of what all's going on. And I'm wondering how people in the ATF and the other federal agencies formulate their opinions about what the truth is in this country. Do you get your information from ATF management? Do you get your information from the propaganda bureaus like the Anti-Defamation League? Apparently you've never watched any of these videotapes concerning Waco. So my question is, it seems like it's real dangerous, the lack of knowledge that what I see you guys have.
Okay.
Want to answer that?
Uh,
How do you formulate your opinions?
I formulate my opinions just on my own. That's it.
Agent Littleton.
Yes.
Now, this is a classic thing. We saw this in the Nuremberg trials in '46 in Europe. We saw Germans, SS, and also a regular army saying, oh, it was my commander and his commander and that commander, and I was just there doing my job. And then you say that you haven't seen Waco Rules of Engagement. It was up for an Academy Award. And it's not some footage they cooked up. It came out in the Senate hearings with Arnold Specter and others. So to sit there and to say that you haven't seen the footage, even the third generation, it's very obvious. They have one of the inventors of flare technology who works for the Pentagon. They're saying, well, this is automatic weapons fired. And then they lay a schematic down and show where all the machine gun nests were. And it shows 60 Minutes wouldn't air a report that Introspection, that does work for the ATF, who did a study and said, yes, this shows people exiting and entering the building, firing automatic weapons. You see an incendiary device, several of them being fired in. Some of those rounds were actually found, those incendiary grenades. And I understand that the ATF needs more funding for Comrade Clinton and the Clintonistas. We understand this. And we understand that we have the footage of y'all loading up the cameras and going out to kill a bunch of kooks. And I'm sad that your agents, some of your agents got injured and killed. And I'm not going to sit around and make threats. When it comes time for me to leave my parents and my girlfriend and my life, I will for my country. And I really don't want to die because I really don't want to die because I love this country. But if I have to die for my country, I will. And I think I see that little gleam in your eye. You would almost laugh when you would say, I can't talk about that, or I have no idea about that. Okay. You, sir, look like a gangster. You look like a criminal. You reek of it, sir.
We didn't bring him here to condemn.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Well, yeah.
Don't do anything personal.
No, it's not personal.
It is personal.
It's the huge.
Keep it to the facts.
It's the huge steel fist. This is why I don't come here. I never will come again. But this is what it comes down to. I had to come and talk to you and tell you that I've read the Constitution. I know what's going on in the country. I know about Rex 84. I know about FEMA. I've been around at the national parks. I've seen the executive orders. I know what's going on in this country. From Oklahoma City, the World Trade Center bombing, the October 29th, New York Times 28 even admits it, got a copy of it in my car, that the BATF and the FBI helped the terrorists cook the bombs. Andre Strassmeyer, the Air and Republican Army, Carol Howe warned the FBI and the BATF. And it doesn't matter. Y'all stir up these hornets' nests to have media events to scare the sheep. And frankly, it's sick and it's sad. And it is the nature of power. That's all you are, is a Roman centurion and all the rest of your type. And I know there's a lot of good people that have left your agencies and have left all the apparatus of control. I want to know why you haven't seen Waco Rules of Engagement and why you won't comment. And you said you were 1,100 yards away from the back of the building where all the automatic weapons fire was coming from. You saw it. Sir, there's footage of it. There's tape of it. You want me to give you one of the tapes?
Yeah, I'd have to.
Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps you're not a criminal.
Alex, let him
Perhaps you're just power hungry.
No.
Let him respond.
I have to say there was no automatic weapon fire coming from the back of the building. I'd like to see the tapes. I haven't seen those.
Well, they got them at the video store. Or why don't you call C-SPAN and get a copy from them?
Okay, I'll do it.
They aired it on TV, and that's how controlled our press is.
Okay.
You scare me. Seeing our local police training with you guys with black ski masks, and we've gone up from 390,000 police officers to 490,000 police officers, and they're building helicopter bases here in Travis County. Damn it! We've been sucked off for so long. We pay 62% in some form of tax. We just wallow around and beg like a bunch of little pigs at your feet. And it isn't good enough because you're insecure, and deep down inside you can make the rationales all day. We're self-righteous. We're doing what's right. I'm nonviolent to the end, defending my country from what's coming. And we see it building up. We see it preparing while President Clinton wallows over in China. So to you, you have no soul if you do not come to grips with what really happened in Waco, because you obviously won't even comment on all the missing evidence and on everything else that is happening, the front door to the flare footage, and then to Oklahoma City with the seismographs and General Parton. It's so much. There's so much going on. So much evil, so much tyranny, so much barbarism. What do you think when you walk into your office and there's all these little fleets of minions? It's sad to me. They need to go work for the mob or something. At least there, you know, they can sleep with themselves at night. They're not acting like they're not criminals.
Being short, I shall lower the microphone. I do acknowledge you for being willing to stand there and take the heat. It's not easy to stand in front of a jury of your peers, which we are right now, sir. We are judging you, and we are judging the group for whom you work, with whom you work. I heard you say early on that in your opinion, the people at Waco got what they deserved. Did you say that?
I could have, yes.
I think that for you, one human being, for all these, you want to comment on it?
Yes. If I said they got what they deserve, what I meant was they caused it themselves. Did I say that?
They brought it themselves.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Reno did.
I'm just.
Reno said, maybe it was Reno who said, but whether they brought it on themselves or not, you have children that were killed by their very own government. And that's you. And I am absolutely, I have not been this upset for years, because I want to know, what does it feel to work for one of the most hated groups in this country other than the IRS?
How you doing?
Fine.
Glad you're here. I've got a couple of brief questions. It was stated during the hearings, the congressional hearings, doesn't matter who the congressman was, everybody knows. The question was put before them, did the FBI fire one shot? The answer was no.
Go closer to the mic there, Robert.
The answer was no. I'm asking you, to your knowledge, did the FBI fire one shot or 1,000 shots?
When? The FBI?
At Waco.
After they took over?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
All right, second question, sir. Do you know if there were any foreign troops on that soil?
To my knowledge, there were no foreign troops on that
Were
soil.
there any United States of America forces, armed forces, Army, Marines, that type there?
On the compound grounds and in the area? Not that I know. I don't know.
How about in the vehicles?
No, not that I know.
Sir, I think we can prove that to be a lie very easily.
You asked me what I know. I'm telling you what I know.
Right.
Again, I'm
That's
not
all we can do, Robert,
seeing.
is tell you what you know.
All I can answer is the question. On any of this stuff, if y'all can do anything you want to, all I can attest to is what I know.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to help you. I was about to say I will give you a copy of rules of engagement.
Okay.
Lastly, I'm having a lot of trouble controlling myself. You have to forgive me. I'm an ex-recon Marine, and I was in the jungles of Vietnam. I dove out in the middle of the night into a jungle in Cambodia and Laos and did some things for this government that went against all the rules and regulations of warfare. I can believe this could happen at Waco. Do you honestly think, sir, that that was a fair thing to do at Waco? In your heart? Your heart, sir. I would like to know your heart.
To serve the warrant?
To go through the whole thing. to kill people in the manner that they were killed, and I know what it's like to suck that gas into my lungs. You know, I want to know your heart, sir. I don't care who was right or wrong. I want to know your heart. Thank you.
Again, that was, they were supposed to come out, and they didn't come out. I have, nope. Yes, ma'am.
You said you were 1,100 yards in back of the property, is that correct? I can understand being the hilly country. Well, first of all, I want to know, have you been back to Waco since that time? Have you been back to see any of the damage that was done?
No.
Nothing left.
Yes, there is something left. There are the tank tracks on the concrete. There are incendiary flares on the concrete. Yes, there is something left. I can understand that you wouldn't have seen the automatic machine gun fire from your vantage point because that is hilly country and probably you didn't have the best advantage. You did, however, see the two tanks, did you not?
Mm-hmm.
Did you not see the two tanks ramming the building?
Yes.
Bill, I'm glad you're here, and I'm
glad somebody.
Oh, no.
No, we are.
No, I mean, it's a good study. You're the first live ATF person. You know, I see all the TV news and everything, and, you know, I have my opinions as well.
Mm-hmm.
When you first got up there, you stated something. You're a boy from the country. There's a lot of country boys in here, and ladies, too. I should say that.
Mm-hmm.
Take your coat off a second. Let's get, no, seriously, take it off. I mean, let's get down here. I mean, it feels like a pecking order. You know, we're not all up here to pick on you. We need to, we're Texans, we're Americans, we're human beings.
We care about people.
And we care about people. We're looking at for you too. You're talking the truth that you know it. Yes, sir. We're talking truth as we know it.
Yes.
But we're opening our eyes. We're saying, look at something besides what somebody lays down. Get a second opinion, okay? And that's what I'm saying here. You know, people have asked you for an apology. We're not looking for an official apology. It was wrong for a human life to be done the way we did, whether it's ATF or whether it was the Branch Davidians or whether it was a pedestrian that got run over looking at the scene. You know, we're human people here. That's what we're trying to do, is the quality of life. And that's why everybody's in this room. And we're coming from the heart. We want you to see these things. That's why people want you to look at this rules and engagement, okay? And study. That would be a good idea to take a look at that book that you recommended as well.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That's a good point. I was going to say, since he had asked us to look at this report.
Thank you for being here.
Sir.
I live in Waco,
Steve Lane?
and if after 28 years in law enforcement you can't answer some of these questions, and I truly believe that you're not sorry, please resign.
I'm not going to put any more heat on you. I just want to say the book he's talking about, there's a copy of that book in the state library on the 3rd floor. You don't even have to buy it.
Good. Good.
I've looked at it.
Thank y'all very much.
I don't.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was there
Yes, ma'am.
when the shooting started. And I know when you said you were in the back of the building.
No.
Exactly.
No.
No. I mean when you were in the back of the building.
It's on the 19th.
On the 19th.
Right, okay.
I think.
But you
Well,
said
what I
you were
want
talking
to
about when
tell
the
you-
shooting started, and I thought you were talking about the first day.
No.
And I was in the front then.
No, I saw the first shots. I told it to the grand jury. I was in the back of the building, and the 3 helicopters came in shooting. And what they were doing was peppering David's room. In fact, when Jack Zimmerman got up in the trial, he said he had been in there, and it was like Swiss cheese. Now they tried, before the shooting started, there was no shooting going on. The first thing I heard was the sound of the helicopters like they were on top of me. And then I went to the window, I saw the shooting, I heard the shooting. I finally, 3 months later, realized that they came in trying to kill David. because his room extended out on the south, from the south of the building, and that's where they were hitting with all their rounds. I was the only one apparently that saw that. And they were on the northeast side of the building. They turned to go to the northwest. I dropped to the floor because I could see that the helicopters were between the second and third floor. And I began to question what I had seen. It was such a shock to me, I couldn't believe it. I've seen plenty of war movies. I came through the Second World War. But I never saw it, in fact, in reality. And when they did turn, everything was very dead quiet. And then after they had turned, and you understand, I didn't see anybody in the helicopters. They asked me that. I said, no, I was looking at them face forward. But there was a girl up in the third floor. She was a person that had a 50 to 80% of her body affected by the fire. She's over in England now. But she gave her story, and when she did, I heard it. And when I heard what she said, she looked out her window, which was where the helicopters were turning to go to the front of the building. She saw the men in the helicopters that were had guns, that were doing the shooting. And she confirmed what I had seen. And so I know who shot the first shots. And I told them who shot the first shots. Now, by the time they get to the front of the building, see, I saw the two trailers come in. I was on the bottom floor, and I took the newspapers up to my room, threw them on the bed. I was going to lay down and read them. That's when I heard the helicopters. By the time they turned around to the front of the building and then turned to continue firing, then all hell broke loose there. When I went out into the corridor to leave, I left the 2nd of March with the tape that David made the 1st of March in the evening. When I walked out, there wasn't a window that had any glass in it. All the Venetian blinds were hanging on one side. Now, I know there was nobody at those windows because all the women lived in those rooms and they were on the floor over the children to protect them. And they said they didn't shoot until they saw somebody in a window. All I have heard from you and from all the things that has been said by our wonderful government is lies. And it makes me furious to think that we had no enemies around us. None of our neighbors were our enemies. And yet the government feels that it's right for them to come in and start shooting at us. And when David opened that door to let them in and asked them not to use their guns because of the women and children, that's when they were shooting at him. That's when they started shooting in the front. And one of the men that I had worked with for years, and we traveled because of the things we were publishing, he was one that was shot. And when I tried to find out what the government said about his body, they tried to tell me that he had committed suicide, and his stomach was just as smooth as a baby's. Yet he had 4 or 5 bullets in it, because I talked with one of the men that held his hand while he was screaming. They came in not even caring about the people in their own country. They wouldn't use that gas on their worst enemy because it was against the law. So what law did you come in on? I haven't heard you say one thing that gave you the right to come in.
Well,
Don't say it was for guns.
Yeah, it was.
It was not.
It was. That's
Now
what
let
the
me
warrant-
tell
that's-
you a little story.
That was what the warrant was for.
Let
The
me
what?
tell you a little story about the guns. There's 2 stories on it. Henry was the one that gave us a license to work under him. And the reason we did that was because we had called everyone in from all over the United States and all over the world. Because David was giving us very deep studies, and you couldn't get it if you weren't there. Now, they had gone over to check him. And when they got there, they saw David Koresh, David Koresh, David Koresh, David Koresh. And they said, "Who is this?" And he got on the phone and called David. And David said, "Tell him to come here. Tell him to come here. I'll show him. I'll show him." And do you know what the answer your brothers told him in the BATF? "Oh, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do it like that. We don't want to do it like that." They knew. You see, there were no guns there except the ones that had been shipped in a box. No ammunition, nothing there, just the plain guns. And you know you can't do much with a gun unless it has a bullet in it. And they were packed away. Nobody was pulling them apart. And I don't think there was more than 2 or 3 guns there, because I know that Paul and his young son had taken everything we had to a gun show, because that's what we were doing at that time, so we could survive without someone having to go to work. And believe me, the people that I lived with were not riffraff, and they weren't stupid. We had people that graduated from Harvard. We had people that came from, one of the girls that came from Canada that had worked for the United Nations as a linguist. She also had worked for the Canadian government for the schools where she laid out the policy for the children to follow. And most of them from England were social workers. They all had fairly good positions. Nothing mattered except they wanted to kill us all.
Nobody wanted to kill you.
When the
Search warrant was for
trial
guns were found, ammunition was found.
there was no guns found.
Yes, there was. I'm sorry. There was. And your information about the helicopters and stuff like that, you can look at the raw footage on that, and you can see the helicopters, and none of them ever
I looked
got-
out the window
I know
and
what
saw
you're doing,
them.
and you're not telling the
And
truth.
so did Margie. So did Margie. Margie explained it. She explained what she saw with the men there with their guns, with their shooting and all.
Okay.
Anyway, I feel sorry for you. You're a sad human being.
Yeah.
And I hope that the day will come when you realize your position before God. That's all I have to say for you.
Okay, folks, guess who showed up to Gonzales, Texas? Old Trailer Pokey. We still look good after all these years, don't we?
Yeah, right, huh?
How long has it been? How long have we known each other?
35, 40 years?
Since probably 1994 or 19.
Yeah.
That's about 25, 26 years or something.
It's been a long time.
Even before Alex Jones, right?
Yeah, before Alex Jones.
Yeah. But Pokey, as I call him, Jimmy Ritter.
I was a truck driver. They called me Slow Pokey.
Yeah, and his wife that taught me everything that I know about editing at the Access TV. She just passed away. How long has it been since she passed?
27 months last Monday.
27 months.
Already.
Oh my God. But tell him what you're doing these days. And also he just like me, he has done a lot of camera work for Jeff Davis and for Alex Jones over the years.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been through it, haven't we?
We certainly have.
And you know, we're trying to get a lot of that up and running on Alex's new website. Well, it's not a new website, it's Infowars.com, but it's on band.video on his website.
Bad videos, huh?
And well, that, you know, YouTube's taking a lot of our videos down, even though they're calling it against community standards. I mean, how can anything be against community standards on YouTube, especially 25-year-old tapes?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Politically motivated.
let's catch everybody up out here. Everybody knows you out here, don't they?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, tell them
show going.
Tell them what you're doing over the last couple of years. It's been a hard 27 since Chris passed away.
Chris was the producer.
It's been a hard
Now we
time.
got
I
Gary.
miss her.
There's Gary, my
There's
new
a
producer.
new producer there. Say hi.
Hello.
But you come down here to get some. I've been picking you some tapes. I
You're
found some.
overwhelmed with them, I understand.
I'm overwhelmed with these tapes out here, but I found some of your home movies. Not that kind of home movies. But
Never seen mine in younger years.
some would know. Some your kids are in their younger years. You know, just think that's 25 years ago. How old is your son now?
My youngest is 30.
See, mine's 35.
Yeah.
And my
But
daughter's
granddad is now.
Yeah, and I got 13-year-old granddad.
Yeah, we do look pretty good.
Yeah, we look good for being grandpas.
Got a rubber hose up my nose.
Okay, well, we'll cut it short, folks. But
Yeah,
what are you
trailerparkshow.com.
what are you doing? Well, if you're giving websites out,
no,
Mike
it's not.
Hanson Archives on YouTube too.
The Trailer Park Show.
Okay.
We're still doing that.
What are you doing? What are you doing now? You said you're moving. You're going to leave Austin.
Going to leave Austin. It costs too much money.
I don't blame you there.
And now without mom, I hate to leave Austin, but I'm going to go down with some more family members down by New Braunfels. We're still going to do the show online. And we've been having lots of guests, as you know. George Rodriguez was just on last weekend, last Monday from San Antonio. And we'll have a whole bunch more coming on.
Well, God bless you, Jimmy. You're a good friend. And we'll see y'all next time. Right here on Mike Hanson Archives.
I love Mike Hanson Archives.
Oh, yeah, say that. There you go.
love Mike Hanson Archives.
Well, you need to speak up a little bit. All right, God bless y'all.
This is Desi Mariah Andrews, and I love Hanson Archives and Waco Archives on YouTube.
And Mike Hanson Archives.
And Mark Hanson Archives. He forgot to tell me that, folks.
Oh, and I love Desi Andrews. You're on.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Smith, and I love Mike Hanson Archives. Check it out.
And Hanson Archives.
And Hanson Archives?
Yeah, I got 3 YouTube channels.
Give them all to me. I'll do it. I'll rapid fire them.
God bless you.
Thanks, Mike.
This is Randall Mogg, and I love Mike Hanson's Archives.
Do it one more time. Louder.
This is Randall Mogg, and I love Mike Hanson's Archives.
Are we ready to go? Yes, we're working on our camera, and I need to confess right now, Richard just rode up on his big white horse. It's really a Chevy with it seats 28 people. That's what? Horse name, Chevy? It's his horse name, and he doesn't know that. I introduced him a while ago. See that red horse back in the stable pen back there? Well, he looked like you a little bit, and he's kind of nibbled my ear, and he's kind of got that Italian flair. Yeah, nibbling. Oh, anyway, we're here. we're having too much fun. I just can't help it. But on my left is Nathan Bullock. And he's originally from North Carolina, or that's what you told me.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina, but he was in the military, and you met this Texas lady.
Yep, and she didn't let me leave Texas.
Well, I don't blame her. She knows a good thing when she catches it. And on my right, it's Ray Arrington, who's over here telling us about having pumpkin pulls. I don't know if that's something I should say on the air. How are you?
Doing good, doing real good.
Well,
Glad to be here.
You and Richard Baratti are. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Miss Joyce.
Okay. We've been looking at his. I got 2 Aggies to the right. Kind of stay close to me, Nathan. It'll be all right when we get through this. We're sitting out here, kind of downwind of the stables, and yeah, a cowboy ain't supposed to have one of those phones on him, right? It's probably one of those horses calling and say, "Get those strange people." Is this neat or what?
This is neat. This is neat.
Why didn't you bring your daughter? She'd have loved this, wouldn't she?
Asleep when I left the house.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. She's almost a teenager. Okay. Okay, yeah, Angela, you could have been out here seeing these horses. They're so wonderful. But are you, Richard, I need to ask you, have you ever ridden a horse? Get over here.
Miss Joyce, I have never ridden a horse, and I was offered the opportunity to ride the horse of my choice this morning, either a gelding or a horse that's got all of its parts. But you know, can you tell me a little bit more about what the negative is to riding a gelding? Are they a little sensitive?
No, they're not a little sensitive. They're a little more spirited. Can you imagine if you miss
No,
I don't know why.
Something's wrong here now. If you're missing that critical ingredient, it would seem like you wouldn't be as spirited.
Well, maybe they're still looking for it.
Whoa!
But no, it makes them a little more spirited. They get to be a bigger horse too.
No, that's not what it is. They're mad.
Well, that they could be. I would be.
And before I'd get on it, I'd start yelling, "I didn't do it, honey! I didn't do it!" like that to you. But tell us, for the viewing audience, I know what a gelding is. I used to write farm scripts. What is it?
A gelding is a male horse that's been castrated. He can no longer have off-breeds.
Do they use what they call the Bardizzo clamp to do that?
They don't use that anymore, Richard.
They don't use that? That seems painful to me. You know what that is?
I don't think they...
No, but then do you know what that is? Do you know what it is? You had good. Thank goodness they didn't have those in North Carolina, right?
I think they used to give the horse a shot of bourbon before they used the Bardizzo clamp.
How did this get so out of control? 2 Aggies sitting over here.
It made perfect sense to us.
Well, I'm the one that can't do directions, but anyway, look who I'm running around with. But the Bardizzo, is that a real thing?
Tell him about the Bardizzo clamp.
Well, you ever seen a big pair of pliers?
Oh, my Lord.
You know what a pair of horse nippers are?
Horse nippers?
Nippers that you trim the hooves with?
No, tell me no.
It's a pair of pliers that's
Yeah.
It's got like a teeth like that.
Look like wire cutters.
Like wire cutters, but it's flat like that. So can you imagine saying, "Come up here, I'm gonna give you a shot of bourbon," and you're gonna lose something at the same time?
And you're not giving a manicure?
Nope, no manicure. No manicure.
Well, sort of cleans up a certain area.
Only, I'm sick.
Wait a minute. We've got, now they serve turkey fries. Now what are those called?
Turkey fries.
Well, sure, when you go into a restaurant.
When you make a gelding out of a turkey.
They
turkey fries.
Yeah, they chicken fry those.
They chicken fry them, okay.
Takes a lot of
They
turkeys.
don't do that with horses?
No, but you ever heard of mountain oysters?
Yeah,
mountain oysters.
Mountain oysters.
Is that what those is? Or those only come from a
pig?
I thought those were from a bull.
They're from a pig.
It's from
but
a pig.
that would be a heck of a mountain oyster, come to think about it, man. You'd have to serve up a family with it. You wouldn't need but a couple of them.
I bet that's right.
But like those rooster fries, isn't that what you call them when they come off of roosters?
Yeah. Call them rooster fries.
It'd take 50,000 chickens to like have Thanksgiving with, roosters.
What'd they call them in North Carolina?
Oh, I'd rather not say.
Nathan's the nice one sitting here with me, thank goodness, because it might make the 3 on this. You see this, it's nice, kind of nice, and then 2 Aggies.
Well, now this is probably the original direction you wanted this show to go in, isn't it?
I wanted this show to go, I want to see the humorous side of this, and it's pretty humorous, at least it is to me. And I want people to see the human side of this, because we're going to talk about the Buffalo Soldiers. Have you ever heard of the Buffalo Soldiers?
I have never heard of the Buffalo Soldiers.
And you an Aggie?
I'm an Aggie.
That's why.
That's why.
I went to school there too, so I know. I didn't hear about it there either.
Okay.
We don't know what y'all heard about. I know what you heard about, but I won't
Did
say
you ever
it.
swallow any goldfish?
Not on purpose.
Did you? You didn't try to get in the Corps?
I was not in the Corps.
Okay. Well, that's why you didn't swallow goldfish.
I have never taken instructions well. To this day.
But he can read a map better.
Oh, okay.
Yes, his wife has him pretty well in hand. Thank goodness somebody got him off the street. But I've been hearing for years about the Buffalo Soldier. When did the Buffalo Soldier organization originate?
Well, the Buffalo Soldier, the unit themselves started after the Civil War in 1865.
How did it come about?
It came about after the black soldiers got out of the Civil War. They didn't have anywhere else to go, and they.
Now, wait a minute. Were they in the Union Army?
They were in the Union Army. They were in the Union Army.
That makes perfect sense to me.
And what happened was they had all the western frontier that hadn't been settled yet.
Uh-huh.
So you had all of the eastern merchants that were out, and they said, well, we can't send these settlers out in Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico out there. We got to send somebody, a forward party to settle a country for us.
And we know who they chose.
That's right. We'll give you $13 a day, $13 a month to go out and just clean up the whole mess out there.
Pretty good pay for that time.
$13 a month? Well, I guess that beats nothing. Well, you didn't.
I'm from Arkansas. It seems like a fortune to me, Nathan. How about, no, 13, okay, and this was like, okay, we're talking somewhere in 1867,
right.
Or somewhere around there, okay, after the Civil War.
After the Civil War.
Now, are you descended from an actual Buffalo Soldier, or do you know any, or have you had any connection with someone who actually served?
I know, I'm not a descendant, but I know of some direct descendants. Dr. King, it's right here in Austin, his grandfather was the chaplain for the 9th Cavalry, Buffalo Soldier in 1866. And his, if you ever seen the picture where the little boy is sitting on Galveston Bay, and the ship is coming, Colonel Grange is bringing in the ship to give the news about the emancipation. If you see the actual photo, it's a little boy that's sitting on the dock at Galveston Bay. That's Dr. King's granddaddy. That little boy is his granddaddy. So we have done a lot of lectures together and a lot of speeches together, but he's a direct descendant of the Buffalo Soldier.
And this is a part of our American heritage that really has been neglected. And I'm interested in genealogy because I'm working on my credentials for the Daughters of the American Revolution. And I have to tell this again. I've told it once before on this show, but I said to my daughter, Nathan, I said, now just, she's... of course married, thank goodness they're both out of our house, and I said, we need to do this so that you will be in line to join the Daughters of the American Revolution. And she said, well, I don't know if I like them or not. They wouldn't let Marian Anderson sing in the wherever she was. And I said, well, Elizabeth, that's why we need to do this, to assure that thing, that kind of thing never happens again. And it wasn't like, in 2 breaths she said, can you get me into the Daughters of the Confederacy, Mother? Well, no, she didn't go to A&M. She's a graduate of North Texas. But this is just as much history of this country. It parallels everything that's happened to make this country great.
Right.
And it was it was segregated for a long time. I remember when it was.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
but
Back when we were at A&M.
Right, absolutely.
Was it still? Was
66?
Yeah, but A&M wasn't segregated.
Oh, yes, it was.
Maybe not formally, but informally
it was.
Yeah. Sure.
Uh-huh. Sure. Of course, you didn't let women in for a long time.
Well,
what
see,
can
right
I
there,
say?
you see. That was a big farm up right there. I remember when they didn't have any ladies' bathrooms out there.
What'd you think you were, the Supreme Court? They still don't have a ladies' room. I think they're finally.
Well,
I mean, come on.
They didn't have ladies' bathrooms in the classrooms, in the buildings. They didn't have ladies' bathrooms. No ladies went there. Why would you have
them?
them?
There wasn't an issue. I mean.
Yeah. Well,
it is with me, and I'm pretty mad. I can't believe they didn't have the girls' rooms. Well, okay, okay, y'all are in for it now. It's gonna be a rough day, cowboys. You have had it now. But this is truly a part of American history, and I have just seen little bits about it because I've seen it in Western movies now and then. I see some. How did Buffalo Soldiers get that name?
Well, the Indians gave the Buffalo Soldiers a name, and it wasn't not only because of the hair, but because of their courage. They was courageous fighters. They didn't turn around. I mean, they were up-front soldiers. They They didn't have anything to look back for. So if you got a troop of guys, a troop of soldiers who've got nothing to go home for, nothing to look forward to in the front, and nothing to go home for, so that means they had to stand their ground where they were. So because of their courage, and the buffalo was a sacred animal to the Indians.
Oh, it still is.
It still is. They gave the black soldiers that name Buffalo Soldiers.
Okay, but you say that part of the name came from the fact the
hair. Right?
The hair,
The
yeah.
hair, well, the top of the hair, between if you ever noticed a buffalo, right in between his horns.
I have petted a buffalo at a state park, and I did well. Okay, yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's a woolly, and it's a smooth coat too. It's a smooth coat, woolly hair right between his horns.
But buffaloes are wonderful.
They are.
And they're truly, if a white man came along and tried to kill all of them off. But that's true.
Yeah,
right?
well. I got the
yeah.
card and I scanned it.
Yeah, so cute. Okay, are we back? And we're having such a good time sitting here, Nathan. I just kind of do, when you see Texans over here like this. You were born in Texas, weren't you? You see Texans like that, does it make you kind of wonder, because we like it so much since we got here as quick as we could. But there's something about Aggies, and I don't want to go in, you know what it is. It's just kind of a silent understanding. And a lot of people always carry on about Aggies, but one of the many great things that A&M has is a veterinary school, which I'd say is about like the Mayo Clinic. In fact, I think I may go there if I get sick. I've taken my dogs there, and a vet that can work with an animal that can't say, my leg hurts or whatever. It's absolutely wonderful. Which brings us right into the footage we're going to watch, because it is about, you see, Ray, what is this?
That's the Buffalo Soldiers. That's the 3rd annual Juneteenth Buffalo Soldier Rodeo.
And it was the 20th?
The 20th of June at the Texas Expo Center.
And next year you're going to have another one?
We're going to have another one. It's going to be on the 19th this time, because next year the Juneteenth falls on a Saturday.
Okay, so it's
be on the 19th.
On the Friday.
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
On
Oh,
Saturday.
okay.
Next year's on a Saturday.
On Saturday. Okay. And is there an admission for this rodeo?
What we do is we charge an admission for the rodeo. The proceeds from the rodeo we give to charitable organizations, and we use those proceeds also to do the lectures and the thing that we do as a group during the year.
Okay.
So this is our big fundraiser for the year, our one-time rodeo here. And we do other rodeos too. We've got rodeos we do in Plum, Texas. We do rodeo. We got one to do up in Bryan, Texas. We're going back up to Bryan.
Okay, you're going to ride, Richard. You're going to ride.
I'm going to be the featured performer.
I want to be the one that rides out in the spangled,
that
suit.
I'm going to be featured so they can show off the new
Don't
ambulance.
leave. There's another cowboy over there. Where are you going? You hadn't even been on camera yet.
I got to go to work.
Oh, well, it's a good thing there's one man among us, okay? Somebody just passing through to check on his horse, maybe?
Just checking on
Okay, what we're going to show you some footage of the actual rodeo. We about ready to go to that, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see you next week with the second part of it.
And we'll see you next week with the second part of this. It's too much fun. Okay, Joyce Isaacs at large. Yippee-I-O!
Right back to Bryan because they asked him. He said, "No, this is like, I'll get down there." It wasn't real close, so it didn't matter much to Ralph anyway. And so the day of the funeral, my mother called me and said that Miss Wakefield had called her and asked that I get in touch with Ralph. He hadn't been to the.
For introduction, I'll test the sound out real quick.
Mike Hanson always wants to tell us when to talk. You'd think he was the producer, right? I'll tell you when. He loves control. He's always in control. I'm sitting here with Nathan Bullock, who's probably the nicest one in this group. But now, that didn't say it a lot, Nathan.
No.
Oh, I forgot. I'm carried away. I'm having fun, but you just leave us alone. It's Joyce Isaacs at large. And on the very front end of this, I said to Mike, he and I have both been so involved with so many political things. Let's do something for fun, because that is sort of, I don't know if it's politically correct to have fun anymore, but I'm sitting here with Nathan Bullock to my left, who's a native of North Carolina, incidentally, because we're going to talk about the Buffalo Soldiers. Fascinating story, and I would say it's a precursor for most of the history of black men in the military. And then I'm sitting here with Richard Brady.
Hi, Miss Joyce.
Well,
it's good to be with you.
You're high today.
I'm high today.
The only way we could get him out here is to tell him it's a bar, okay? And he thinks we're bad, and we know it. And these two guys are so nice. And to my far right, but I hope he's not far right, but he may be, because some of us are, is down the middle. Is Ray Arrington.
Good to be with you. Glad to be here.
We're talking Buffalo Soldiers.
We're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you a little background about it and hope you enjoy it.
What's the logo you've got up behind us?
Richard's blocking it.
I'm blocking. Let me hold on just a minute.
Once an Aggie, always an Aggie, right.
But it was all right, though, because the Aggies together. He can block it if he
Aggies together. He's standing up. He thinks he's the fourth man on the field or whatever. Well, there's not 12. Oh, okay. Anyway, just doing my math there. All right, now he's got a shot of the logo. Come back.
Okay, come back to
yeah.
the logo. Or should I hold the logo?
No, you just...
I've got on a steel shirt. It ought to stick.
Well, just hold yourself a minute. We're going to talk about the history of the Buffalo Soldier. If you saw our show, I hope it ran last week, about the rodeo that they do here on Juneteenth, which is, of course, all of this stands for many, many different things in the life of the Black American or African American. What do you prefer we call you? I know you want us to call you Ray. I knew it.
I think in the black community, African Americans is a politically correct word. I think that would.
Oh well, you know that doesn't go on this show, right? Okay. We can't call you Joe though.
No, don't call me.
See, he's got an attitude already. Okay. But the history of the Buffalo Soldiers, how it got started, its birth came out of the cavalry.
Out of the Civil War after 1865.
Yeah, I know. I'm from Arkansas. You guys had on the blue uniform. You had the good things. You know, we were just poor cotton farmers and things. But you know, going back to the Civil War, I think in my older age, shall we say, I've come to think that most wars weren't fought for the reasons we thought they were, or what I was taught in school. Yeah. You know, that it was over a slavery issue, which of course was wrong. But most wars are fought because there's some economics involved in them, right?
Absolutely. Just no gain, no pain.
That's right. I was speaking with men that have been to Vietnam, not Richard. He was here keeping the home. Richard was here with me. No, you served 2 tours in Vietnam.
2 tours in Vietnam. Wasn't any of them pleasurable, but I served my country over there twice, and I stayed in long enough to retire out of the military. Thank God I made it home in one piece.
Yeah, you're home.
Thank God for that. Yeah.
Thank God for that, because I'm telling you, did you go to Vietnam?
Yeah, I did 1 tour over there. I was a helicopter crew chief.
Oh, and if they crashed, it was bad.
Yeah, it was.
You know, and
I ran loops missions for a while. This was the small OH-6 helicopter. We used them to flush out the enemy and.
You know, I have a friend here in town, Bub Parrish, and he has a page up on the internet with the helicopters. Yeah. And he said he was on the ground, but he liked it so much because when you heard that whoosh, 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 you knew somebody was coming to get you. You know, you knew your guys were on their way to get you. But so I think that we need to realize that the black soldier has fought hard for this country in war after war after war. And so it started with the cavalry, and the Buffalo Soldier, as we could recap a little, was sent out because, let's face it, I think you had the least power of anybody.
That's true.
They said, and you didn't have any place to go.
That's right. No place to go, no place to call home after the war. After a torn country over the war, you know, the countryside, the little shanties that they might have had.
Right.
It's all gone. It's all gone. Families split up, and that was even back before. You know, we didn't get the emancipation until 1865 also, so we didn't even know that we were free.
Well, you didn't have an internet.
Yeah, we didn't have an internet. No internet.
Can you imagine?
No
internet. And I've thought about that many times. Can you imagine walking around thinking you were enslaved?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been free for months. You know, I mean, that just makes me so mad when I think I would have been so
2
upset.
years.
Yeah.
2 years.
I would have thought, what do you mean? I want back pay, you know, right now.
So where's my 40 acres and a mule?
Yeah, that's right. That's
you're still riding that in the rodeo.
Yeah, still riding the mule.
Yeah, they finally got their mule. He said, Ray said growing up he lived in Bryan, and he rode a mule. But anyway, what is the Buffalo Soldiers' role today?
What we do today, we consider ourselves as living history educators. I do a lot of lectures at the schools, a lot of presentation. We'll hook up to our trailers and we'll go. And this is all nonprofit. Just tell us to come and we'll take off of work or whatever, and we'll be there. But we do a lot of work with the elderly and with youth. Our last year, I think we documented speaking with, coming in contact with over 15,000 youth in 1 year. So for an organization our size, and this is all over the state of Texas. We did went down to Corpus Christi. We did a performance down for the Boss Symposium down there. We went to Dallas to the State Fair, which we hopefully will go to this year. We went to the governor's inaugural balls and stuff. The things that we do, but it's all promoting community service and helping the youth and the elderly. That's our whole purpose. We're not a social club. We are a service organization.
Well, you hit us right there. I guess we could call. You're probably still under the youth thing, aren't you?
I am very young for my age.
Very young for his age, and then the older group. That's me. So yes, it is. Yes, sir. I'm going to be able to draw Social Security, and you just keep paying it, okay?
For Mother's Day, we'll make sure to bring you a rose. We take all of the mothers, all of the elderly. We try to get them a rose on Mother's Day.
I think that's good because my rotten. Well, anyway, we're getting up.
Well, I'll cut it out.
Well, that's so graceful. Okay, come on, guys.
Did you want me to pick your pants?
Give them some.
No, don't be. What?
Oh, that's what it was?
Is he bad? Are we bad? You think he's back in the Army, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the horse you like. This horse's name is Bill.
And I have to make a correction.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're starting again over here. Okay, Nathan, what'd you tell me it was wrong? Because your wife is what?
Well, I have to make a correction. You asked me what kind of horse that was, and I said a filly, and that's wrong. That's a gelding. That's a gelding.
Well, wait a minute.
That's a male.
I don't think we need to go down there and inspect everything, right? You know, this is.
I can make sure.
Well, I think that's a little familiar. I mean, don't these. Boy, a bill. Okay.
If you do that, do you have to whisper in the horse's ear before you start?
I tell you, you can take an Italian out of Italy, can't you? But there's just
it.
something about them that I told you it was like Richard. Here, you take the mic a while, and you do some interviewing and let me play with the horses, okay?
Joyce, if you're going to play with the horse, be careful, okay?
Well, he's just a gelding. We got nothing to worry about.
Well, now, tell me, is this any of the stock that you use in the rodeo?
Yep, this week. Matter of fact, this horse was one of the ones that the lady rode. She's been riding for about a month now. She rode him in the grand entry at the rodeo this past June.
Bill.
Sure did.
Is it a full-blown rodeo where you've got calf roping and?
I tell you, this is one of the better events, better rodeos that we had here in Austin, and that's compared to the Travis County Livestock Show, that the rodeo that we have here for 9 days. I guess you would say per capita, this rodeo was bigger than that because we had in a one-day event we had over 350 contestants in 1 day.
Really?
In 1 day. So we had a real good turnout. We had a real good crowd. We were thankful to the Capital Chamber of Commerce, who went in with a joint venture with Buffalo Soldier Production and put the rodeo on, and all of our great sponsors who contributed and came out and supported us all the way. But it was a real big success, and we really did enjoy it. Now I hope everybody enjoyed it. I really did.
Nathan, how did you get your start in rodeo?
Well, I was in the military, and a friend of mine had a horse, and I used to come around and ride his horse, and of course he later sold it, but he got me interested, and I bought one, and I have 2 horses now, and I've been riding ever since.
I don't know if we ought to. Will he say anything to us?
Well, I don't know.
What's this horse's name?
Yeah, his name is Bill.
His name is Bill. Yeah. I'm gonna call him William just to make sure until he says it's okay to call him Bill. Well, tell me, Ray was saying that you go in and you put on a performance when you go around and you talk to these school kids, and what kind of performance do you put on? Do you have any old uniforms or replicas from the Buffalo Soldiers?
Yes, we have uniforms, but we just go around and basically ride precision riding and do stuff like that, but mostly just talk to them.
Where do you get the time to practice all of this so you'll be well trained and in precision when you put on a performance?
Yeah, well, I'm retired, and I also had a stroke, so that threw me out of my other job. So I'm kind of retired twice.
So you can devote full time to it.
Yes.
Well, you look like you're doing well though.
I am.
You're glad to be here.
Oh yeah.
You're glad to be anywhere right now.
For real.
Well, what do we have coming up over here? Coming up over here. Is this a Clydesdale?
No, are you talking about me or the horse?
No, I know what you are. You're a thoroughbred.
Well, this is part thoroughbred. This is what you call an appendix bred horse. It's bred with part quarter horse and part thoroughbred.
And Bobby
This
Socks.
is a barrel racer. Her name is Bobby Socks.
Bobby Socks.
Mike, can
Bobby
you get her Bobby Socks down here? She's beautiful. And you barrel race with her.
Well, we've got one of our club members, Melanie Bass, the lady that was featured in the paper. She runs this horse and barrels. I'm a little too big for that. My wife has had she's not physically able, so we've got somebody else so Melanie Bass rides her.
That's a beautiful horse, isn't it?
It's a Bobby Socks.
That's
That's a sweetheart. Now you want to get up here and jump on the horse? Let's see you do
There
it.
are certain things I'm sure this horse is not prepared for, and that's probably one of them.
Oh, Glenn, are you watching this? I want a horse.
I am not a weasel, but we can get Joyce up on the horse, although I won't get on. You want to get on the horse,
Not
Joyce?
now. Not
Why
now.
not? Why not?
Because I hate to show you up. You really not a horse person, Richard?
I think they're great to look at.
Now I want to ask you, do you have a horse out here?
Are you talking to me or Nathan?
I'm talking to Nathan, who's talking to the horse.
No, my horse is on the other side in another field.
Okay.
Not far from here.
But you have several horses?
Yeah, I have two.
Okay, well that's several. That's a lot. Okay. How did you get started riding horses, Nathan?
Well, I've been riding ever since. It started when I was a kid playing cowboy. Riding stick horses.
You used to have to park the broom.
Yeah.
I back the broom up. Whoa, get back.
We've all been Dale Evans, haven't we, Bobby Socks? Okay, so when you go out to lecture, or not, well, I guess that's what you make presentations, and you take horses with you.
We sure do.
This is great, isn't
I
it?
tell you, we even got it. Our organization has
Feel
gone
the
to.
nose. She's not going to hurt you.
Bastrop
Scared.
County, the Elgin Independent School District.
Uh-huh.
They turn out school for one day. We're with their school board. They turn out school for one day for the Buffalo Soldiers, and they have all of the schools to come to the high school football field, and they have a one-day Buffalo Soldier event. It's usually during the month of February, where all of the kids come out and we take the horses. We have snow cones. We do reenactments for them. So it's a real good thing that Elgin, the school district, is doing down there.
How many people are members or participants in the Buffalo Soldiers group here?
Right now we've got about.
Oh, she pretty?
14. 14, but it's 2 units in town. So when we do a venture out to the schools and stuff like that, we like to include everybody. It's 2 different companies. We got the 9th Cavalry and the 10th Cavalry. We're the 10th Cavalry, but the 9th Cavalry is here in town also, and we work together with them. We work together with the Parks and Wildlife, Ken Pollard, with Parks and Wildlife. We work together with him. The state, believe it or not, all of the reenactment equipment that we have in the uniforms and all that, it belongs to the state. And if people are interested in becoming a member of the Buffalo Soldiers, and ladies, we've got auxiliaries for ladies.
Well, now,
too.
do you take women? Do you take white people?
We're diversified.
Hispanic?
We don't care what color you are.
Do you?
You know what?
Do you take Italians?
And Italians.
Okay, and
We don't
Italians
say that
too.
too loud.
Okay.
Who's the leading Italian Buffalo Soldier? I want to know what the
Richard, I guess it'd have to be you. I don't know of any more.
Could you get a tight shot on that?
You stay over there by that horse.
I'll get over
But
here
we
by
do-
the horse.
It's like a cat. It's like a big kitty cat.
We are a diversified organization because, even during the Emancipation Proclamation, if you think about it, on Juneteenth, when we celebrate that, it was white sharecroppers who were just as glad as we were to be free. I mean, it was those who were on sharecrops who didn't get the opportunity to be free. That white sharecroppers out there, that they didn't get emancipated, and they had to stay there anyway. So I mean, those people, we're just diversified. I feel like the Emancipation Proclamation was for everybody who was enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
And
regardless
of color, it was for everybody.
Well, and I have a cowboy friend who owns a ranch, and he says there are 2 races of people: the decent and the indecent.
Yep.
And I keep hoping I can get in that decent group, Nathan, that I can just hang out with horses and Italians and
Richard's
stuff.
getting hair all over his shirt. There. You see him keeping doing that. See, it doesn't bother. See, well,
Well,
Joyce
was
was dusting the horse.
It's
Make
a-
sure I get it.
It's a designer shirt. He's got
okay.
Well, he has. I think you have a Diane Karen. Well, no, I thought it said Diane Karen. What does this stand for? NK.
Nike.
Nike. Oh, pardon me.
Paid to
People
wear that shirt.
Okay. Well, pardon me, Michael Jordan. Oh,
Are most of the members of the Buffalo Soldiers retired military?
No, they're not. Most of them. I think I'm the only one that's retired. We've got a national organization for Buffalo Soldiers that's out in California, and the national organization, as strange as it might seem, is just 3 members. But these 3 guys have put forth so much effort into bringing back just about 25 years of history that's been like kind of seeped through the cracks. And so we have our national conventions. We've got companies all over the United States. Matter of fact, we've even got a foreign branch in Germany now. And it's ladies auxiliaries that's a part of that support the organization. And but it's those 3 guys are retired military.
well, it's all right. It's like the big 3 car makers.
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. That's
it's
the
the
big
same deal.
3 horse riders.
Well, do you guys ever get called on to be reenactors in films?
Sure
or?
we do. Sure we do. We did. We were.
So he's a movie star.
Well, so Richard, you know what, Richard, one of the things he had, I see you quite a bit in the greatest little bakery in Texas, or what was the name of that?
It was about a bakery.
Yeah, in Texas. Well, at LaGrange. At LaGrange, yeah. Things warmed up. They said, get people who know. I'm just teasing them, okay? But what movies have you been in?
The Buffalo Soldiers. With Danny Glover.
Yeah.
I was in True Women, and I think we were out in another movie. I was in those 2 myself. But we've done some movies. We've done some car. I did a car commercial for Chrysler. It hadn't shown yet. I don't know when it's going to show, but
That's okay.
Well, you got paid?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's all. This is 2 unemployed actors.
2 unemployed actors. No, did you get paid?
Get money when you do that, Nathan. They got plenty. Chrysler has money. Okay.
As an extra.
That's okay.
But it was real good. So we try to get involved in it, and in any filming that comes around here, we can get away to it.
Now,
we like doing it.
let
I
me-
just like horses.
Do you get paid for the use of your horse?
No, I let them use my horse. Oh, you mean on the movie set?
Yeah.
Oh, as much as I can.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
Okay, because
And the
like
truck and the
it's
trailer.
right. If
That's
they want a Ford truck or a Chevy,
right.
you get money for those.
That's right.
Maybe he could teach us a thing or two. We know so much about. Well, that's absolutely great. Don't you feel really good when you get out and do this because it's so positive
It is.
and it's fun?
Well, plus it's so informative for the
Yeah.
people there.
Well, history is so lacking. Let's face it.
It is.
You know, and when you start to really get into history and find out a lot of things about a lot of presidents, of course, that's a timely subject, isn't it? But I'm thinking Thomas Jefferson, who had several mulatto children, I think about 7 or 8.
That's right.
And I think we ought to realize that what we all are, get that shot. What we all, we're all just people.
Yeah.
And you can be a hero and be just people.
That's
I mean,
right.
that's all there is to it. But every ancestor we've had, Richard, has been, of course, Richard, one of his big claim to fame is that his grandfather.
Easy. Go ahead. What was it again?
Oh, your grandfather and your uncle, their names were Santo and
Davy.
David. That's
Santo.
Santo, and then plain David, the uncle there.
You're thinking about my other side of the family that had the interesting last name.
Oh no, we're not getting
We're not going to bring that up again.
Not again. We're
All
not
right,
getting
okay.
into that. But they dug the dam. The first dam out here in
Oh,
Austin.
okay.
They
You
were
know,
the
dam
dam
that broke,
diggers.
They were dam diggers on that one.
There were dam diggers on that one. But
Is that like ice pop?
Yeah,
yes,
about
like
like
ice box.
Ice box.
Yeah. But I think what we forget is that when we at that. Look at, is that Bill? That's Bill. Hey, Bill. Hi, honey. Now,
Bill has got a suitcase head.
Why do you say that?
That's horse talk.
Horse talk?
That's horse talk.
What does
See
it
how
mean?
big his head is?
didn't look too much big to, why?
It's long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's long. So they call that a suitcase head.
Now, why is that, I wonder?
It's just a breeding of it.
Oh.
He's part horse and part horse.
Well, he's probably would he's part horse, kind of like us out here, right? He's part horse. Part horse.
We're learning some lingo today.
I love it out here at this table. But a suitcase head. Okay, now we've learned that. Look what big jaws he's got. Aren't they remarkable? Uh-huh. Well, Bill, honey, they treat you bad. I'll be out here. He's so cute.
Give him
Look
your
at
pager number.
Okay, I will. They give me directions how to get out here. I'm always lost. Do you spend a lot of time playing Buffalo? And I'm saying playing Buffalo Soldier because I'm going to hope that it's this much fun all the time.
Well, as much time as I can, I put it that way.
Okay, are you retired?
Yes.
Out of the military?
Yes.
Okay, Bill, he loved it. You let a horse have a little time on camera and then he wants to be the star, right? But are these horses, they seem to just take right to us, but they're used to being around people, aren't they?
They are in the rodeos and in the parades and trail rides. They're used to it. We don't have any problem with them. And we have the kids to come out on Sundays. We always have our riding on Sunday. We have the kids to come out. And we'll saddle up just about everything here, just turn the kids loose up there in the arena and let them come out and ride.
Oh, yeah.
5901 Hudson.
And there's not a street number on the place, okay?
Not a street number anywhere.
But if you turn off 183 or
come to the white fence.
Come to the white fence. Okay, now do you have an arena here on the place?
No, we just ride up here. Usually
that little turnaround.
Yeah,
okay.
little turnaround up there. And we do that because we don't want to let them out on the street. The whole thing to me is when my wife and I got together with this, we wanted to provide a country setting inside of the city. The bus stop's right down the road here. You can ride the bus out here. And
I think I'll ride this horse to the bus. I think you
well,
and I
you're not very far from town, really.
No,
not at all.
Just
Motorola's right across the street down the road.
Another good thing about Austin, see, we find these little bits of paradise that are close to town. And this is truly a bit of paradise. So anybody can bring their kids.
Anybody can bring their kids. Every Sunday at about 5 o'clock in the evening, we ride out here until dark and we just turn them loose. They can sit under the trees and drink the soda waters and whatever and watch the kids ride.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Okay, Angela?
I'm going to bring Angela out here.
No, she will want to come when she sees this. Angela, you need honey.
She can even ride Bill.
You can ride Bill?
Does
she pack her bags or just ride suitcase Bill?
Angela, you have a reservation to ride right now. Now, put on her jeans, and does she have some boots yet?
She won't be needing boots, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
She wants to be tender to the horse and just, spur him with tennis shoes.
Okay, she's like me then, right?
That's
okay,
right.
And you're going to have to get one. Your wife will be so happy. No, you need to bring Angela out here because this is a place where she can come and have a horse ride. And is she 12 yet?
She's 13.
Because I remember when she was really small. Okay, she's 13. What age groups do you get? All ages?
All ages. We've got one of our good sponsors that donated us riding helmets. We got riding helmets for them. So even if they can't ride, we'll lead them around. I mean,
a little Todd.
Tell me something. Do you have kids that participate?
I don't have. Well, my baby is 20 years old.
Your baby's 20. He looks like he ought to be in college.
I know it, but his wife's really. Trust me, his wife's really glad.
But he won't like that if he hear this and see me call him baby. He's a grown man now.
He's going on 45.
Yeah, he's going on 45.
Well, do you have little children?
Yeah, my children are grown.
Aren't you happy?
Yeah. Well.
Am I?
But now I have grandchildren,
okay.
And they take the place of my children.
Okay.
So
can they ride?
No, they're not too interested in it right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them interested.
Can you imagine having a granddaddy who not only looks 25, but Richard looked over at me and said,
Miss Joyce, what do you think those horses weigh on the average? To which you said, why don't we ask Ray?
Well, I said, I hope it's more than I weigh. Okay, well, Ray. Do you know?
Well,
I'm sorry, you're right.
Okay.
To me.
On an average, a horse weighs anywhere from 900 to about 1,600 pounds.
Now,
1,600 pound horse is a big horse.
That's a heavy. You're stepping on some green stuff. He's so from the city, Nathan. I apologize. Okay, but
how many pounds of hay do they eat a day, or how much feed?
My horses eat, I would say, about 9 pounds of grain, 9 to 10 pounds of grain a day, and I come out and I hay them twice a day, so I give them all the hay they can eat.
Okay, say hey, like
all
that.
The hay they can eat.
That's a good guy because you know how much I love dogs. Anybody that's watched me for very long knows that I love dogs.
I've got a dog out here.
Do you? why it's been on
His name
camera.
Little Bit. I don't know. Well, you know what? I've got Little Bit stays out here, never goes anywhere. I bought a dog and I brought him to put him out here. And every time I buy a dog, something happens to him. So Little Bit just kind of took up out here. Somebody.
Good.
Just kinda took up
Yeah,
out here.
good. So you got a dog.
Best thing in the world. Won't go anywhere. She's probably under a trailer somewhere.
Yeah, she lives here.
Yeah.
But Richard has cats. They're just like horses.
In their own way,
Yeah, in their own way.
We haven't had a chance to show them yet.
They don't weigh as much, though, do they?
No, they
No,
don't. No,
y'all, I hate to leave, but we're all sweating. Our makeup is running off. It's hot out here. This has been one of the funnest things we've ever done. You like this?
I do like this.
Y'all are good people. You're really good people. And I can't tell you how much. We need to tell everybody again, how do you get out here? Because Sunday afternoon it's just a salon out here.
5901 Hudson. It's the right-hand or left-hand turn off of 183 across from Motorola, just behind the Austin Auto Exchange. Just come down to the white fence and we'll be here every Sunday after 5 o'clock, weather permitting,
And
God willing.
a real family thing, right? And you bring your horses from across the street?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he said he would. So I tell you what, we've been talking with Ray Arrington and Nathan Bullock and Richard Baretti. Did I get that right? And I'm Joyce Isaacs. And what we're trying to do is educate a little and have some fun and tell you that Austin is full, just full of lots of fun things, but it's mostly full of interesting people who not only do good things for horses and such, but they do good things for you. They make the world better because they're in it. And I tell you what, this is Richard Baretti saying,
So long, Miss Joyce.
well, adios, honey. Giddy up there. I'm going to start calling him Roy Rogers. Roy and Dale here singing, Happy Trail, sugar. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
He wants on camera. Okay, now this is, how old is this coat?
This coat will be 3 months old on the 1st of July. July 1st will be 3 months old.
That'd be tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That's right.
Okay, now who's the mother?
The mother is, her mother's named Sunshine, who is out of, if you know anything about horses.
Palomino?
No, she's not a Palomino. She's a sorrel, but she's out of Impressive.
Okay.
She's an impressive mare. And this is her second coat.
Okay, male or female?
It's a male. It's a little stud coat. A little stud coat.
When did you wean him?
About a week ago.
Okay, now.
I took him off his mother and let him start eating on his own.
Well, and did you have any problem with that?
No, he just nickered for a lot. I mean, they just hollered back and forth until he got used to it. So we put another horse. We've got another horse right next to us, so it kind of gives
Like
him
a
give him a little
stable
company.
mate,
Right.
like they do for the race horses.
Right.
Yeah.
So that kind of calmed him.
Well, he wanted his mama.
Yeah. He's
Oh, he's pretty.
he's going to be what we call. He's not going to be a sorrel horse. He'll probably be a chestnut.
Okay, now
Chestnut color.
we got a few more minutes. Okay, so he was birthed out here.
Out here. He was born right across the street. And I've got a
Well,
pastor right across the street.
It says marrying in maternity over there.
Yes, the hospital across the street.
Across the street. Well,
And the thing about it is, you don't, unlike a dog, they have birth better by themselves.
If you leave them alone.
If you leave them alone,
Uh-huh.
and they are born weighing about 125 pounds. Can you imagine the mom taking?
Whoa.
No, if I was birthing something weighed 125 pounds, I'd wish you'd have left me alone, period. You know, but and what's his name? Have you named him?
No, this is Frederico. We call him Frederico.
Frederico.
Dad's name is Fred, and we call him Frederico.
Oh, he's so cute. And now he's eating hay.
Yeah, he's eating hay and eating grain, and he's doing real good.
How much weight has he put on since he was born?
Oh, I'd say about 200 pounds.
You thought your kids were big, right?
They were.
You know, you thought she had to have a cesarean with those. Elaine, it could have, well, whatever, okay. Well, this is great. So you all just kind of left her alone when she started, what do you call it, when she started to fold?
Yeah,
Is that-
started to
okay.
fold.
How
And
long does it take for her to deliver?
11 months and 28 days.
Oh, that's a gestation.
Yeah.
Okay, as in Jester Hall gestation. What,
Well,
okay.
they have Jester Estates. I wonder if that's a high birth rate community.
Should be.
Hello?
Okay. Okay, but now how long did it take her to give birth? Was anybody there when she went
Well,
into labor?
yeah, we were. Someone had passed by and they called me, and I came out and she was down on the ground,
Uh-huh.
and it took her about 30 minutes.
Okay, in other words, if she was laying down on the ground, you know that she's
Right,
gone
right.
into.
You
okay.
kind of keep track of the days and the times and stuff like that, because
Uh-huh.
nothing is for certain. I've had one that went 12 months and 6 days.
Yeah.
And so they, you know, so you kind of.
Well, you wouldn't want that as a racehorse.
No.
That was one born to run. It's
No.
slow. Okay.
Well, now here's the idiot in me coming out. Do horses ever have multiple births, such as twins?
Yes,
Sure they
yes.
do. They do. Sure they do.
Colt,
Sure they
you've
do.
seen that in the movies.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine who's got a Napaloosa stable out at Dale, Texas, and his horse gave birth to twins. That was the first set I've seen, you know, except on TV or something. But he had twins.
And
Sure
it,
did.
so in about, did you stay out here while she was having the baby?
No, well, I stayed out for a while to make sure she was all right. But they get so protective doing that for the first couple of 3 days. They just get so
They
protective.
want you to leave them alone. Did you have her in a pen by herself?
Yeah, had her by myself. And so, but the first couple of days, from a distance, I'd look and see if the coat was all right and stuff like that. And they nurses them and they cleaned them up themselves. And you never have to worry about anything with a horse. I mean, they clean themselves up and everything.
But isn't that interesting that we have a lot of people that can't, that don't know how to birth, much less get a little one up and going for the world?
And they're born walking.
Yeah.
And they're born walking.
Because I know in the wild they have to get up and run, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's healthy.
Watch out there.
Wait a minute. Don't look at that. That's pretty personal. He's a healthy boy. Do you feel better, Reggie? Okay. Well, he belongs at my house. He's like my dog. This is fascinating, though. Do we need to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to say goodbye to you, and we're talking. We've been talking and talking. I could do about 50 stories out here because we've been visiting with the Buffalo Soldiers, and until we see you again, buckaroos, happy trails. From Joyce and Richard, it's Joyce Isaacs at large.
$20.
These are some of the tapes that you were talking about.
Where did?
How's the light?
Yeah, that's good right there.
He'll just ask you questions.
No, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Well,
I'll edit.
we were talking about the Indianapolis Baptist Temple, and what was it? Did you know something about it?
I was born and raised in Indianapolis. Just left there a year ago to live full-time in the motorhome. So we know the whole story, the ongoing thing. In fact, I was baptized by Greg Dixon himself in the Baptist Temple. And then back a few years ago when they started the policy that they didn't believe that the government had the right under the Constitution. If you read it, it's there. They do not have the right to tax you. It's not there. If they want to pass a law to that effect, fine, but it's not there yet. And they're passing taxes without it being, legalized through Congress and all of that. It's not in the Constitution either. So they were not taking the taxes out on the teachers. My daughter-in-law's mother...
We weren't able to get up there. A lot of us locally wanted to get She might have to go.
My daughter-in-law's mother is named Sue Dodd, and her deceased father is named Charles Dodd. And they went there, and they were both qualified teachers. Sue, I know, was a teacher there, and she actually left Baptist Temple's teaching facility because she didn't want to have the hassle with the government. But she was telling us that the teachers are paying their own taxes. So the government was still getting their money. And yet they went in there by force, and of course they raided the place and put a number of them in jail. Now that happened not too long ago, and we were on the road, so we were not home to actually go up there and see it. And that's really a sad thing, but that's all that I know that I can add to your story.
Well, what about the teachers? How did you like them? Normal people?
Oh, the teachers were wonderful. My child went there. My daughter went there. And they were very good people. They were really good teachers. They were conscientious people. They were just ordinary Joes and Marys, and they just got caught up in the thing. It's just the government coming down on religion in any way, shape, and form that it can, and that it can get by with it. And the harder that you try to go against them, the harder they're going to squelch you under their foot like an ant, and they're going to try to show you can't get away with fighting the government so that the next person won't try. And of course, the next thing that they're going to be after now is the homeschooling. Yeah. And my grandchildren, I should say, are homeschooled. And they do take tests. They are above and beyond what any public school would teach them right now at this point, in their point of learning. My niece and her husband, who is a pastor, homeschool their children, They went into a public school and were actually tested because now they're into the high school years. These kids are 16 and mom can't teach them anymore, you know, so they put them they put them into a Christian school in Martinsville, Indiana, and they were tested, and they tested above and beyond, even though she herself, the mother, only had a high school education. But that's, you know, these homeschooling parents are getting good materials. The good materials are out there to be had, and the parents sit down and study and learn this material and learn the modern way to teach kids things, the modern new math and all that jazz, and they're learning, and the government's coming in on that, and they're putting their foot down harder and harder, and legislations are being enacted in different states right now where the homeschoolings are being shut down. It's going to be illegal. That's one of the next things that's right around the corner.
What's your name for the record?
My name is Sharon Skinner.
Can you spell that word? Put it up underneath.
Skinner. Sharon is Sharon.
Okay, Sharon. Knowing what you know now about what they did to the Baptist Temple in Indianapolis, Indiana, and knowing you were lied to, what did that make you think about what happened here in Waco, Texas?
Oh, there's never been any doubt in my mind, but what there's been a whole lot of cover-up going on here in Waco. It was nothing but outright murder. I do not condone or agree with what these people stand for. I'll be upfront with you about that. It's not my belief. That's okay. Everybody's welcome to their own. But the government nor anyone else has the right to come in and squelch somebody because they take a dislike to them for whatever their particular reason may be. I'm still trying to figure out what the motive was behind it. Janet Reno was behind it. What was the real motive? What was the government really after? That's my question.
Anything else you'd like to add? Just walking around the property and...
I feel the cries and the tears of a lot of people here. I've seen burned wood and burned places on the pavement. I've looked in the swimming pool out there where families played and laughed. I've looked at the destroyed property where men and women loved and had family relations. Misguided though some of them may have been, irregardless, no one had the right to take that away from them. This is supposed to be America. Where else in the world can we go?
Hello folks, this is Mike Hanson here on Mike Hanson Archives on YouTube and here on my Facebook, and we're here at the 25th anniversary of the memorial service here in Waco, Texas, and we got Clive Doyle here. Can you tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are on the 25th anniversary here?
It's
It's all right. Everybody knows you.
It's kind of hard. My daughter just died.
That's what I heard, and we didn't put it out on the internet because we were asked not to. This is the first time people out here on my...
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't know yet.
That was your first daughter died at Mount Carmel, and this was your another daughter.
This is my oldest daughter. It's my youngest that died in the fire. And Karen was coming down, had her plane booked. She was coming down for the memorial, and ended up dying in a head-on collision. A drunk driver. People up in Pennsylvania saying that it was deliberate, it wasn't an accident. Tried to run a cop off the road first. I guess the cop avoided it. Tried to run down another woman and she avoided it. Karen was third in line. So they say she died instantly, which is at least she didn't suffer too much. But Seems like every year there's a few more to go.
Yeah, it's just not many left. Clive, I'm so sorry for all the stuff that's happened to y'all, and hopefully it will get better. But like you always say, it's going to be better.
It'll get worse before it gets better.
Well, but once we're gone here, maybe.
Well, you know, KRLD called me this morning. Well, what do you think the government's learned in 25 years? I said, nothing. Except don't have the press there filming everything.
How are you doing?
There's Desi. Okay, well, we're getting ready to start. Who do you got speaking this year?
Phil Arnold, James Tabor, I believe, Catherine Lessinger, Mary Lindborn wants to say a little bit.
Oh, good. Oh, I can't wait to see her.
So, there's a lot of people.
All right, well, we're getting started here, folks. I hope y'all can make it here for the 25th anniversary here. And what's the address here? If they can still make it?
701.
701 Jefferson, Waco, Texas. Hope to see you here, folks. Gotta get it. Okay, hi, Sheila.
How you doing? Hi.
25th anniversary of what happened. How are you?
Yes, fine.
Right
thank
here.
you.
Tell them to come on down. They still got
yes.
time. This
yes,
is live.
It's still time.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
What do you
morning.
think
How are
about
you?
the 25th anniversary, real quick, before we go
Sorry
in?
that it's still 25 years. I'm sorry that it's still taking so long. We want to get home. We want God to come and change all this.
Amen.
We don't have to think about
Absolutely.
people being dead.
Yes,
you know.
and look at all this food you brought.
Yes. Well,
You
thank
got
you.
everything?
Yes,
Well, we
I
still
think
got
so.
time to get here.
Okay.
April 19th,
No, it's just plain bread.
2018.
Okay.
What time is food?
12:30, 1:15, whatever, 1 o'clock.
All right, come on, park your car and come on in.
All right, then,
All right,
thank you.
you.
Okay,
All right,
now.
folks.
It is the best and most comprehensive book on Bohemian Grove, and it's written by Mike Hanson, my old camera guy.
Mike Hanson Archives. You ready to run?
To support this channel, I just got a new box of books in, and I will send you a signed copy if you want to write us here at P.O. Box 481, Gonzales, Texas 78629. Send $25 and we will send you don't send any shipping, just send $25 and we'll use it to put more VHS tapes up. Look at that. Good Alex right there. Okay, and then also if you want to call, there's the box of books. If you want to call, I don't hear no phones ringing in there yet. If you want to call here, we got people answering the phones here. I don't hear no phones ringing yet. If you want to call us, our phone number is 830-672-3089. I got that right this time, didn't I? Okay, and look, there's the phones ringing. Okay, and then we got people over here working hard on putting tapes up tonight, right? Okay.
It is the best and most comprehensive book on Bohemian Grove, and it's written by Mike Hanson, my old camera guy.
Mike Hanson Archives. You ready to run?
Long live the Constitution! God bless America! And death to the New World Order! We shall, we must, and we will prevail because we're willing to stand up against what's happening. God bless the Republic and the United States! And death to the New World Order! Yeah! All right! Yeah! Yes, thank you very much, folks.